Chapter 1556. God King Swallow Devour. You're underestimating the ninth god eye. Zhao Feng calmly smiled at God King Swallow Devour's words. After breaking into the third heaven, even without using the dream god eye or the pseudo-ancestral artifact, Zhao Feng had the strength of an ordinary god king. If he used the power of these two, he could even fight against a top-class god king. Some time ago, he had witnessed the evolution of the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye, and the stimulation of a dream god I had apparently caused it to grow stronger. Although Zhao Feng didn't feel anything obvious, he was sure that he had more dream origin energy than before. He could use it for a long time without any worries. Oh, do you believe that you'll be more useful in this battle than I am? God King Swallow Devour's lips curled into a profound smile. He had once fantasized about becoming the ninth god eye, but as Zhao Feng matured, he gradually gave up on this idea, not wanting to offend Zhao Feng. However, this did not mean that God King Swallow Devour believed himself to be inferior to Zhao Feng. At the very least, Zhao Feng had only just broken into the third heaven and could not use the full power of the ninth god eye. This one said nothing of the sort. Zhao Feng faintly smiled. No matter what, you seem to be extremely confident in your own strength. Why don't we have a simple match? If you win, I'll give you the space ancestral artifact fragment, but if I win, you have to agree to trade your pseudo-ancestral artifact to me. God King Swallow Devour gave a careless smile, and then his eyes glimmered as he slowly spoke. God King Swallow Devour's proposal was apparently more beneficial to Zhao Feng. After all, if Zhao Feng won, he would directly obtain the pseudo-ancestral artifact fragment, but if he lost, he would just have to trade his pseudo-ancestral artifact. Okay, I also want to experience God King Swallow Devour's abilities. Zhao Feng thought for a while before agreeing. Okay, let's go. God King Swallow Devour gave a smug smile. In his view, although Zhao Feng had the ninth god eye, it was precisely because of this that Zhao Feng was too proud and conceited. The heaven-devouring sacred land was located on the edge of the ancient desolate realm of gods and was rather low-key, but God King Swallow Devour was definitely a top-class expert amongst god kings. Once he obtained the pseudo-ancestral artifact in Zhao Feng's hands, gathered the fragments, and fused them into a supreme ancestral artifact, he would become a god king ruler. Even if Zhao Feng became a ruler, he wouldn't be afraid. It didn't take long before the two were transported to a separate dimension, and God King Swallow Devour had called over some of the upper echelon members to observe this battle. Zhao Feng, let's begin. God King Swallow Devour faintly smiled. In a split second, the blood in his body surged, and his body expanded continuously. Two black horns grew out of his head. The black patterns on God King Swallow Devour's body rapidly twisted and surged into his sinister mouth. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The chaos force and tribulation lightning force in Zhao Feng's hands surged, instantly turning into a dark chaos lightning sword. God King Swallow Devour had activated his bloodline power from the very start, clearly determined to obtain the pseudo-ancestral artifact. Zhao Feng wasn't polite either. After all, top-class god kings were truly not easy to deal with. God King Charflame and God King Golden Dragon, whom Zhao Feng had faced before, were ordinary god kings, while God King Swallow Devour and the illusion god race's God King Nethercloud were top-class god kings. Thuish, an enormous primal chaos tribulation lightning sword flew forward. Swallow, God King Swallow Devour opened his mouth, and a black vortex appeared in front of the primal chaos tribulation lightning sword, exuding a powerful devouring energy that sucked in the primal chaos tribulation lightning sword. Primal chaos energy and tribulation lightning energy? It's a little hard to swallow. God King Swallow Devour's expression flickered. If this was an ordinary third heaven god lord's attack, he would have instantly devoured it. Although primal chaos energy had the devouring attribute, the heaven-devouring race was famed for its devouring, so was undoubtedly stronger. A few moments later, God King Swallow Devour had absorbed the sword energy. God King Swallow Devour's stomach also swelled up. Go! God King Swallow Devour bellowed, spitting out a ball of primal chaos, tribulation, lightning energy. This ball contained not only primal chaos, tribulation, lightning energy, but also God King Swallow Devour's own divine power. The heaven-devouring race could devour energy and make it their own. As expected of the heaven-devouring race, Zhao Feng circulated his divine power and activated Heaven Ascendant. In a flash, an extremely solid spatial barrier engulfed Zhao Feng's body. As the gloomy sphere bombarded him, it was weakened by layer after layer. Bang! In the end, the sword energy was blocked by the pseudo-ancestral artifact. It really is the pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant, and it's extremely complete. God King Swallow Devour stared at the crystalline robe on Zhao Feng's body, making no attempt to conceal his greed. Swallow. God King Swallow Devour stared at Zhao Feng and opened his mouth. In a flash, a black vortex formed where Zhao Feng stood. Ooish! Zhao Feng's figure flashed as he retreated. But the black vortex still managed to devour some of his divine power and the pseudo-ancestral artifact's energy. It seems like top-class God Kings really can't be underestimated. Zhao Feng chuckled. Boom! Hiss! Primal chaos, divine power, and tribulation, lightning energy circulated, and several dozen primal chaos, tribulation, lightning swords appeared in front of Zhao Feng. With a wave of his hand, all the primal chaos, tribulation, lightning swords flew out. Okay, this old man will accept them. God King Swallow Devour heartily laughed as he opened his savage black mouth and inhaled. A black vortex appeared with him at the center, exuding a powerful suction that devoured everything in the world. Swallow! God King Swallow Devour bellowed, and the black vortex's devouring power swelled, devouring the energy of the surrounding primal chaos, tribulation, lightning swords. What a powerful devouring ability! Zhao Feng was alarmed as he suddenly thought of something. At this moment, God King Swallow Devour opened his mouth and spat out a heaven-shaking energy. Boom, boom, boom. A vast and chaotic energy of primal chaos and tribulation lightning surged forward, causing the surrounding space to tremble. Fortunately, Zhao Feng had long ago anticipated this situation and had already formed a primal chaos lightning vortex around him. Boom! Bang! God King Swallow Devour's powerful attack slammed into the primal chaos lightning vortex. The two clashed for a few moments before the primal chaos lightning vortex shattered. But even deeper than that was the defense of the pseudo-ancestral artifact. The pseudo-ancestral artifact was not omnipotent, and it was still rather strained against the powerful attacks of a top-class God King. Fortunately, the primal chaos lightning vortex had weakened God King Swallow Devour's attack, or else it would have been very difficult. Haha, Zhao Feng, you've only just broken into the third heaven. It's already quite good that you were able to exchange a few blows with this old man. God King Swallow Devour heartily laughed as if he had already obtained the pseudo-ancestral artifact. The heaven-devouring race devours external energy and transforms it into their own. If I don't let them devour it, the heaven-devouring race's strength will be greatly reduced. Zhao Feng thought to himself. The devouring ability of the heaven-devouring race was also a powerful defense. The more one attacked, the stronger the opponent would be. But if he didn't attack, how could he defeat it? It's rumored that the heaven-devouring race can devour all things. Let my ninth god, I have a taste of you. Zhao Feng suddenly thought of something and regained his composure. The Dream Dao. God King Swallow Devour was not worried. He could even devour the death, destruction, and space-time energies of the 8 great god eyes. It was rumored that the 9th god I was skilled in the Dream Dao, but God King Swallow Devour had once fought with a Dream Dao expert and devoured their Dream Dao energy. Dreamification. Zhao Feng circulated vast amounts of origin energy, and the dreamy mist in his left eye began to spin around him, dyeing the world in a dreamy and illusory light. Everything in front of Zhao Feng became dazzling and dreamy. What was different was that everything in Zhao Feng's vision had become transparent and illusory. This had not been the case before. This energy, God King Swallow Devour's face froze. At this moment, he felt like he had been inexplicably weakened. This energy did not seem to be Dream Tao energy. Swallow. God King Swallow Devour immediately activated his devouring law. Hisses. A black vortex appeared in the air. But the dreamy colors of the world did not diminish in the slightest, as if they were unaffected. I can't devour dream origin energy? Zhao Feng noticed this. It seemed like his dream origin was extremely unique. Extinguish. The power of thought revolved, and with a thought, the black vortex suddenly dissipated. The power of dreamification has gotten even stronger. Zhao Feng was startled. At this moment, everything in his vision had become transparent and illusory, as if it had always been fake, and Zhao Feng could easily erase it. Zhao Feng once more circulated his thought power, this time targeting God King Swallow Devour. In the past, the power of dreamification could at most erase experts of the same level, but it would have little effect on higher-level experts. But this time, Zhao Feng wanted to try. In a flash, an indescribable and mysterious energy descended on God King Swallow Devour. A moment later, God King Swallow Devour sensed that his divine body, divine power, and bloodline energy were slowly vanishing. No, how could this be? God King Swallow Devour circulated all his energy to resist the mystical power of the ninth god eye. Although the rate at which his energy was disappearing was somewhat slower, God King Swallow Devour was still incapable of stopping it. It seems like dreamification's power truly has gotten stronger, and the heaven-devouring race bloodline is a little low level, so its resistance isn't very effective. Zhao Feng's analysis was much clearer. Then I'll attack and defeat you first. God King Swallow Devour's face turned savage as he charged forward. Boom! God King Swallow Devour thrust out a palm, sending a massive wave of black energy toward Zhao Feng, exuding a powerful devouring energy. Extinguish. Zhao Feng suddenly had a thought. A strange energy descended upon the palm. Although it did not dissipate, it greatly weakened the attack. Boom! Bang! The weakened palm strike was blocked by the pseudo-ancestral artifact. The heaven-devouring race was not very strong and relied mainly on devouring the energy of others. And now that God King Swallow Devour's attack was weakened by dreamification, it became even more ordinary. Zhao Feng faintly smiled. It seemed like this battle was over. In terms of speed, he was no slower than God King Swallow Devour. And for defense, he had the pseudo-ancestral artifact. Meanwhile, God King Swallow Devour was being constantly weakened by dreamification. This weakening was not to injure him, but to make certain aspects of God King Swallow Devour vanish, damaging his foundation. After trying out a few more attacks, God King Swallow Devour gave up and called for a stop. Stop! I admit defeat. Dreamification was still affecting him, causing his strength to plummet. If this continued, he would only be left in an even worse position. Nearby, the upper echelon members of the heaven-devouring sacred land were stunned. God King Swallow Devour had admitted defeat, but there was nothing that could be done about it. The heaven-devouring race only grew stronger when they met stronger opponents, and they devoured the energy of others. Alas, God King Swallow Devour could not devour Dream Origin. Moreover, Zhao Feng's speed and defense were flawless, and his dream god I had been stimulated by the heavenly Tao god I to become even stronger. God King Swallow Devour could only admit defeat, or else his foundation would be affected by Zhao Feng. After admitting defeat, God King Swallow Devour could only hand over the space ancestral artifact fragment. Still missing one piece. Heaven Ascendant told Zhao Feng. He was also rather excited. Could Zhao Feng really be able to restore him and restore the power of an ancestral artifact? Let's go back to the sacred land and gather some intelligence. At this time, many experts had gathered in the life sacred land. Perhaps he could get news of the last space ancestral artifact fragment from them. While Zhao Feng was returning to the life sacred land, outside the life sacred land, Nearly 10 black-robed Heaven's Legacy race members and Lu Qinshin had arrived. Chapter 1557. The arrival of the Heaven's Legacy race's sage faction was a major shock to the life-sacred land. Quite a few of the great powers knew that the Heaven's Legacy race was divided into the Sage faction and the Heaven-defying faction. The two factions were clearly separated and no longer had any ties. But they understood far too little about the Heaven's Legacy race, and they feared them far too much. In the end, they were still somewhat worried. "Why do you come from afar?" The Bright Sun's sovereign spoke. "The Heaven-defying faction has caused such chaos in the ancient desolate realm of gods, and as a member of the Heaven's Legacy race, this old man feels deeply ashamed. I have come to the life-sacred land to discuss a strategy to resist the Heaven Lord." Yu Qianwu took the initiative to slash out and calmly explained. Yu Qianwu remained completely unaffected when facing such a situation, and every single move he made was calm and wise, causing others to be unable to refuse him. Many experts of the life-sacred land were conversing with each other mentally. They naturally understood the capabilities of the Heaven's Legacy race. With the help of the Sage faction, dealing with the Heaven-defying faction would be much easier. But they still could not completely trust the Sage faction, especially in this special period. If they made the slightest mistake, the Heaven Lord might completely defeat them. Within the crowd, the myriad manifestations Jimin had a rather calm expression on his face. He stared intently at the members of the Sage faction, his gaze finally coming to rest on a white-robed woman. The woman was elegant and refined, like a green lotus in an ink painting. She was otherworldly, mysterious, and elegant. Many members of the life-sacred land couldn't help but stare at this woman. However, the reason why the myriad forms Jimin was paying attention to Lu Qinshin wasn't because of her appearance. Rather, it was because of that unique and familiar aura. This person, the myriad forms Jimin closed his eyes, carefully sensing and thinking. But suddenly, an ethereal and elegant voice entered the myriad creation Jimin's mind. "Myriad creation? You don't even remember me?" Opening his eyes, the Jimin of myriad manifestations and Lu Qinshin stared at each other from afar. "You are fate." The myriad forms Jimin was slightly startled. "The destiny god I?" The Bright Sun's sovereign was shocked. Now, the most mysterious of the 8 great god eyes, the destiny god I, had appeared. "Everyone, please enter." The Bright Sun's sovereign opened the barrier around the Holy Land. The Heaven Lord's goal was the 8 great god eyes, and the destiny god I was also his goal. This made everyone unconditionally trust the Sage faction, and they were even more confident that the destiny god I would not play around with its life. The destiny god I? Zhao Feng gave a faint smile. As the dream god I evolved, he had this feeling when he saw Lu Qinshin, but he still found it hard to believe that Lu Qinshin was the destiny god I. "Feng, you're back too." Lu Qinshin looked at Zhao Feng with a hint of joy in her emotionless eyes. "I didn't expect you and the wise man to come as well." Yu Qianwu and Lu Qinshin had both come out of seclusion, as well as many other wise men. This showed how serious the matter was. "Fate, you should have predicted all of this beforehand. Why didn't you inform us?" Otherwise, Jimin myriad forms immediately asked. "The destiny god, I knew the fate of the world. Before the Heaven Lord obtained the heavenly Tao god I, he would have definitely been able to see some clues. At the same time, the myriad forms god also sensed that Lu Qinshin's god eye energy was not very strong. In truth, a long time ago, the ancient desolate realm of gods only had the 7 great god eyes. Lu Qinshin slowly explained. As the chief sovereign of fate, she knew the past, the future, and virtually everything. However, if she knew too much, she would discover even more problems. The chief sovereign of fate began to doubt this world and wanted to know its true face. Thus, she chose to seal her destiny origin and immerse herself in endless cycles of reincarnation so that she could comprehend the world and understand the truth. This was why she said that a long time ago, the ancient desolate realm of gods only had the 7 great god eyes. So that's how it is. The myriad forms God sighed. The Heaven Lord's plan had gone so smoothly because he had found this loophole. Zhao Feng nodded. He also understood that Lu Qinxin and Lu Qinyin were both the chief sovereigns of fate. Do you have any plans? The myriad forms God asked. None at the moment. The Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God has already absorbed 2 God Eye origins and is above all our God Eyes. Not even the Destiny God I can see his future. A troubled expression appeared on Lu Qinxin's face. There has to be a way. The myriad forms God confidently said. Although the Destiny God I could not predict the Heaven Lord's future, with the Destiny God Eye's help, they had a chance of dealing with the Heaven Lord's schemes. The Sage faction could also effectively counter some of the heaven-defying faction's methods. Correct. Lu Qinxin nodded. The Tao of Fate was abstruse and profound. There were no absolutes. Even certain death could be reversed. But now, they had to wait for the 4 God Eyes to recover from their injuries. The space-time, divine punishment, death, and life God Eye deities could be said to be the backbone of the resistance against the Heaven Lord. With the addition of the Sage faction, the Life Sacred Land's defensive arrays had been upgraded, becoming even sturdier and able to easily switch between offense and defense. Time slowly passed, and all the members of the Life Sacred Land began to prepare. One day, Zhao Feng went to find Lu Qinxin. Qinxin, there's something I need your help with. Zhao Feng smiled. Lu Qinxin's Destiny God, I was in the process of awakening and becoming omniscient. You want to ask about the last space ancestral artifact fragment, right? Lu Qinxin had already guessed it before Zhao Feng even said it. Correct. Zhao Feng was somewhat delighted, as expected of the Destiny God Eye. But at the same time, he felt an inexplicable sense of loss. This was because he sensed that he might not be able to find the last ancestral artifact fragment. As the Destiny God Eye, if Lu Qinxin had known this long ago, she would have helped Zhao Feng resolve this need. It's in the hands of the heaven-defying faction. Lu Qinxin replied. The forging of a pseudo-ancestral artifact only required 70% of the fragment. For this reason, the heaven-defying faction had not fused all of its fragments into the ancestral artifact. The extra fragments had been given to the experts of its faction to increase their fighting power. For example, the first space fragment Zhao Feng had obtained had been borrowed from the heaven-defying faction. Thus, Zhao Feng had long ago guessed at this possibility. Zhao Feng's heart sank. It seemed like the pseudo-ancestral artifact, Heaven Ascendant, would find it very difficult to reappear in its complete form. Since this was the case, he would not force the issue. Feng, your God, I is an indispensable force in the fight against the Heaven Lord. Lu Qinxin gave a profound smile to Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng nodded. Perhaps the Destiny God, I had already deduced that the God Eye Alliance and the Heaven Lord were evenly matched. If his God, I were to completely awaken, he would be able to influence the Heaven Lord. Before the final battle began, Zhao Feng entered seclusion. The battle would probably begin once the 4 God Eye deities or the Heaven Lord recovered from their injuries. With only a little time left, he would improve as much as he could. During his seclusion, Zhao Feng divided his mind into many parts, one of which was to study the Dream God Eye. When Zhao Feng saw the Heaven Lord absorb the destruction origin, he vaguely sensed that his Dream God Eye seemed to be hiding an even greater power. If only he could activate it. The second part was to cultivate the Primal Chaos Scripture. The offensive power of the Primal Chaos Divine Sword was no longer enough. He needed to cultivate even more offensive combat skills. Zhao Feng used the rest of his mind to comprehend the Tribulation Lightning Sacred Scripture that the Divine Punishment God had shown him. These 2 paramount scriptures still had many contents that Zhao Feng had yet to touch upon, and he also needed to become a God King. Anyone with a God, I would become a God once they became a God. Only a God King could use 100% of the God Eye's power. Time slowly passed, and the ancient desolate realm of gods fell silent. However, this kind of silence was a little strange. Everyone expected that there would come a day when this silence would be broken. 5 years later, in a secret chamber in the Life Sacred Land, Lu Qinxin suddenly opened her eyes. the Heaven Lord has begun to move." Lu Qinshin's expression was grim. At this time, the four god-eye deities were still in seclusion. One day later, a piece of news shook the sacred land. "My lords, the heaven-defying faction has begun to move. The Spirit Spring sacred land in the eastern part of the ancient desolate realm of gods has been captured." This news caused the silent life sacred land to seethe with excitement. The heaven-defying faction had appeared and had brazenly captured a sacred land. The many great powers of the ancient desolate realm of gods were gathered in the conference hall, and the mood was grim. "Why haven't they attacked us?" God King Charflame was rather confused. The Heaven Lord's targets were the 8 great god-eyes. 2 of the god-eyes had been killed, and the remaining 6 god-eyes were all in the life sacred land. But the Heaven Lord had chosen to attack other sacred lands instead of a sacred land. Wasn't this just harming himself? Your thinking is too simple. With the Heaven Lord's strength, what would he lose by attacking a sacred land that no one is living in? The myriad forms god had an extremely grim expression. Then, God King Charflame was speechless, and he fell in a deep thought. With the Heaven Lord and the heaven-defying faction strength, capturing a sacred land won't result in any losses. On the contrary, they'll be strengthening themselves. Yu Qianwu spoke up. "That's right. With the power of the Samsara God Eye, the Heaven Lord can use even more Samsara energy. Those people that die at his hands will become his strength." The myriad forms god angrily said. If the Heaven Lord directly attacked the life sacred land, the outcome might not be certain. At this time, the life sacred land had gathered the majority of the ancient desolate realm of God's forces. Besides the god-eye deities, there were also the bright sun god and 2 other gods. Moreover, the life sacred land was already prepared to fight. Even the heaven-defying faction led by the Heaven Lord would find it hard to win against this force. But the heaven-defying faction had seen through all of this. The Heaven Lord did not recklessly attack, but first recruited soldiers to expand his faction. Several more days passed, reporting, "The Gulong Zone's heaven-devouring sacred land has fallen." Back then, Zhao Feng had even visited the heaven-devouring sacred land, but God King Swallow Devour appeared unconcerned. He believed that this was a matter between the Heaven Lord and the God-Eyes, and that the God-Eyes should be able to resolve it. Gradually, the entire ancient desolate realm of gods began to panic. Those factions and experts who had the same idea began to move toward the life sacred land. Even the life sacred land's sworn enemy, the fallen heaven sacred land, thickened its skin and joined in. This was the only safe place in the ancient desolate realm of gods. Reporting, "The blood spirit sacred land has fallen." The blood spirit sacred land was a sacred land on the northeast edge, rather far from the life sacred land. On this day, a god energy that could shake the heavens soared into the sky above the life sacred land. The 4 god-eye deities had finally come out of seclusion. Chapter 1558. The appearance of the 4 god-eye deities in seclusion instantly calmed the worried life sacred land. The 4 god-eye deities immediately learned of the recent events through the other upper echelon members. "The Heaven Lord recovered before us." The Life Sovereign was somewhat surprised. She believed that if the Heaven Master hadn't fully recovered, he wouldn't have made such a big fuss. Is the heaven-defying faction trying to turn the entire ancient desolate realm of gods upside down? The divine punishment Hegemon's face turned slightly cold. In the Heaven Lord's hands, the Samsara origin is even more powerful. The Chief Sovereign of Death couldn't help but sigh. Even Samsara, God King himself, could not produce a large number of high-grade Samsara mortal bodies in a short period of time. The 4 god-eye deities all had different reactions after learning all this, but they all shared one thing in common: their fear of the Heaven Lord and their determination to eradicate him. "What should we do now?" An old man with a white beard stepped forward. His figure was ramrod straight and emitted an extremely sharp and terrifying sword intent. His entire person was like an ancient sword that had been sealed in dust. It seemed simple and unadorned, but it actually contained boundless power. This person was the famous celestial sword god of the ancient desolate realm of gods. Once the god-eye deities gave the order, the various experts of the ancient desolate realm of gods began to gather, including gods. As for the celestial sword hegemon, he was one of the hegemons of a holy land of the Tao of the sword. His powerful sword arts could shake gods and ghosts alike. If we just sit here and wait for death, the Heaven Lord will definitely expand his faction to a level even stronger than ours and then attack the life sacred land. Yu Qianwu said slowly. He had a good understanding of Yu Tianshu, although this person was a bit crazy at times. If there were other methods that could make it easier for him to win, Yu Tianshu would definitely use them. In other words, we can only take the initiative to attack. A black-haired, black-clothed young man spoke, exuding the aura of a king. Besides the god-eye deities, the life-sacred land also had 3 gods: the bright sun god of the Golden Crow race, the celestial sword god of the Sword Tao sacred land, and the black-clothed youth, the youngest and most talented god of the ancient desolate realm of gods, Sikong Tao. Let's move. The divine wrath chief, sovereign, said softly. Although they had the advantage of the life sacred land's terrain and had a greater chance of victory, they still had the advantage. But in the current situation, they had no choice but to attack and fight the Heaven Lord. Dong, 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 the sound of battle echoed through the life sacred land. Within the dream divine kingdom, Zhao Feng was immersed in cultivating the primal chaos scripture and lightning tribulation scripture. Perhaps it was because of the immense pressure, but his seclusion during this period of time had yielded great results. First of all, the laws of time and lightning had reached the minor perfection stage. This would greatly increase Zhao Feng's overall strength. Secondly, he had comprehended a higher-level combat skill, the chaotic heaven covering hand. His control over the power of tribulation lightning had also reached a whole new level. To sum it up, even without using the pseudo-ancestral artifact or the dream god eye, Zhao Feng was no weaker than a top-class god king. Right at this moment, a formless sound wave pierced through space and reverberated within the divine kingdom. Are we leaving? Zhao Feng slowly opened his eyes and retracted his powerful aura back into his body. Not long after, rumble 2 silver warships, tens of thousands of feet long, flew out of the life sacred land and into the clouds. These were the new warships that the Sage faction had used vast amounts of manpower and resources to build, and they were particularly outstanding in terms of defense. As the warships flew forward, the Heaven's legacy array around them began to churn with enormous ripples of energy. The 2 battleships sped forward at an increasing speed, eventually disappearing into the rift. The heaven-defying faction was also skilled in divination. If they didn't want to clash with the God-Eye Alliance, they could just avoid them. However, the God-Eye Alliance now had the Sage faction and the Destiny God-Eye. Based on their calculations, the arrogant heaven-defying faction could not avoid them. Approaching the heaven-defying faction as quickly as possible was the best way to stop them from expanding their strength. Fortunately, the warships built by the Sage faction had the ability to use spatial shift, which was truly rare. However, each spatial shift consumed a whole batch of supreme quality god crystals. Along the way, the gods and god kings gathered in a secret hall in the core of the warships. The Heaven Lord already had the ancient god-devil body, and now he has the power of the Samsara god Eye and the supreme destructive power of the destruction god Eye. His strength is not just a little bit above that of a god. Yu Qianwu was the first to speak, causing the atmosphere in the secret hall to turn grim and solemn. How should we defeat the Heaven Lord? The Heaven Lord has the heavenly Tao god Eye and the ancient god-devil body. He's very difficult to deal with. The experts expressed their opinions and formulated countermeasures. Our only advantage against the Heaven Lord is our numbers. Thus, we cannot easily split up. The best way is to work together and continuously exhaust the Heaven Lord's strength. Yu Qianwu slowly said. Even the Heaven Lord's strength was not limitless and had its limits. we still need to rely on the god eyes to deal with the Heaven Lord's core strength. The destiny god, Lu Qinshin, said. At this moment, she was not only elegant and mysterious, but also had a convincing demeanor. Outsiders might not know, but all god eyes knew that the powers of god eyes could be very easily fused together. For example, the attacks of the death god Ai and the destruction god Ai could complement each other and create even greater power. The death god Ai and the other god kings who cultivated the destruction law would find it very difficult to have this sort of tacit understanding, and their powers would find it very difficult to fuse. Perhaps it was because of the god eyes. Other than the destiny god Ai, which was not skilled in combat, and the ninth god Ai, which could not use its full power, there were still 5 god eyes that could fight. Just as everyone was discussing, a figure suddenly appeared. "They're here," Lu Qinshin suddenly said. "Bzz." Kaboom! Countless booms came from around the 2 white warships. In the distance, the world was dark and gloomy, but it exuded a hair-raising sense of danger, as if it was leading to the underworld of death. Kaboom! Black streams roiled. 2 black gold warships slowly appeared in the dark, quiet, and mysterious void. The 2 sides faced off, the dreadful pressure between them causing the space between them to twist and crack. Swish! Several figures suddenly appeared above the white warships. A mystical energy that seemed to reach the heavens spread out, restoring a sliver of light to the gloomy world and allowing the god Ai Alliance to clearly see the enemy situation. Countless pitch-black figures floated around the 2 black gold warships, all of them exuding gloomy samsara energy. All of them were samsara immortal bodies. God King Swallow Devour. Zhao Feng immediately spotted God King Swallow Devour in these countless figures. At this moment, God King Swallow Devour was bound to the shell of a samsara immortal body, unable to break free, and his face was savage and terrifying. What a terrifying person! Xian Wuheng's expression was grim. He currently knew that the Heaven Lord had slaughtered the 3 sacred lands and captured countless souls to make them into his samsara immortal bodies. Of course, the Heaven Lord had already conquered the illusion god sacred land long before this. A white figure floated above those countless samsara immortal bodies, exuding a dreadful energy that made all things submit. Haha, this old man is deeply honored by the arrival of 6 god eyes. The Heaven Lord suddenly laughed. At this moment, all the experts of the God Ai Alliance were observing this Heaven Lord, whose strength surpassed that of a god. All of them turned even more solemn, not daring to be careless. "Do it," the divine punishment god snorted. At this stage, there was no point in continuing to waste words with the Heaven Lord. The other gods nodded. Boom! Bang! The heavens and earth shattered as an incomparably powerful force burst out, causing the surroundings to tremble. The 5 god-eyed deities, the bright sun god, the celestial sword god, and Sikong Dao immediately charged at the Heaven Lord. What a terrifying energy! Zhao Feng's heart trembled. An ordinary god lord would probably be scared out of their wits in the face of this energy. But the Heaven Lord gave a bizarre smile. "Ah, the god-eye origins of all 6 of you god-eye deities are mine." Bang! The Heaven Lord's ancient race bloodline madly surged, unleashing a pressure that could shake the heavens. At the same time, the heavenly Tao god eye on his forehead slowly opened. At this moment, the god eyes of the other god-eye deities trembled, including Zhao Feng's dream god eye. The Heaven Lord's body flickered as he charged forward. Broom! 2 earth-shattering forces exploded from the clouds in the 9th heaven, and a terrible storm raged. The silver warships and black gold warships lowered their altitude to avoid the dreadful storms dominating the battlefield. At the same time, the experts of both sides charged out of the warships. Kill! A deafening roar could be heard as the 2 groups of people collided with one another. In a flash, chaotic energy and the stench of blood filled the air. Eche, I didn't think that this old man would become like this. Now that things have come to this, we can only enjoy this slaughter. The three abnormally powerful samsara immortal bodies of the heaven-defying faction began to converse. These three were the god kings of the spirit spring sacred land, the blood spirit sacred land, and the heaven-devouring sacred land. In the rear, the left protector began to chant, and layers of black mist began to rise from his back. Within this mist, one could faintly make out a pitch-black cloaked figure with a pitch-black face and wrinkled, withered claws that savagely extended forward. The experts of the life-sacred land were overwhelmed by fear at this sight. The left protector's dreadful shaman arts and curses from the last sacred land war were still vivid in their minds. This time, this old man will end you. God King Radiant Peak charged forward from the life sacred land side. Enter the battle. With a wave of his hand, Zhao Feng released the Black Destruction Dragon, his many clones, and the ancient beasts. This battle was of utmost importance, so Zhao Feng did not dare to be careless. At this moment, Zhao Feng sensed several powerful killing intents. As Zhao Feng scanned the battlefield with his god eye, he grimaced. The ones exuding killing intents were the divine emissaries that Zhao Feng had killed, and now they had all been revived. Zhao Feng, your time of death has come. Divine Emissary Wu bellowed as he shot forward, black-violet energy surging around him as he transformed into a darkness god-devil. At the same time, Divine Emissary Chong, Divine Emissary Li, Baiming Hui, and the other divine emissaries charged at Zhao Feng. Chapter 1559. Zhao Feng hadn't expected that the divine emissaries who had died so many years ago would all be resurrected, and now there were 7 of them. The samsara, I had the 2 sides of life and death. The samsara of life could resurrect the dead and also control the samsara art. Of course, resurrecting the dead was not something that could be casually done. At the very least, those who had been dead for too long could not be resurrected. As for the samsara of death, it imprisoned the soul of the dead in the samsara god, I, and made it an immortal slave under one's control. Using the samsara of life to resurrect the dead had an enormous price. But to the Heaven Lord, resurrecting a few third heavens was a trifling matter. Zhao Feng, if you follow the Heaven Lord, we will never die, but you will die. Baiming Hui stared at Zhao Feng, his eyes brimming with hatred as he jeered. Is that so? Every time you live, I'll kill you. Zhao Feng faintly chuckled, not caring at all. In the past, these people he had killed might have been powerful foes, but that was all in the past. Zhao Feng was improving with every passing moment, surpassing his past self. Arrogant. Divine Emissary Wu couldn't help but laugh, his black and tyrannical energy crushing down. Demonic Heaven Palm. With a wave of his hand, a massive demonic palm covered in black patterns howled forward, stirring up the winds and clouds. Break! Zhao Feng waved his hand, condensing a primal chaos tribulation lightning sword that shot forward. Boom! Bang! The giant devil palm shadow shattered with a loud bang. How so strong? Divine Emissary Wu was flabbergasted. He hadn't been dead for very long, but now that he was resurrected, Zhao Feng had grown to this level. A casual attack from him was able to destroy the combat skill of his demon god race bloodline. Primal Chaos Fist. Time Blade. Destruction Dragon Breath. At the same time, the bloodline skills of the other divine emissaries descended. Zhao Feng's expression was calm, but the primal chaos tribulation lightning energy in his body surged out, forming a dark storm of lightning that wreaked havoc. Boom! Bang! The powerful battle skills bombarded the dark lightning storm from all directions, but they were all devoured and disappeared without a trace. At this moment, outside the dark thunderstorm, Zhao Feng, as expected of the holder of the 9th god eye, we are no match for you, but offending the heaven-defying faction will not end well for you either. Baiming Hui said with a low voice. Set up the formation, 7 stars enigmatic formation. Divine Emissary Wu shouted. At some point, a silver-black banner had appeared in the hands of the 7 divine emissaries. As soon as the flag appeared, a mystical force of the heavenly fortune formation was unleashed, forming a tremendous force that formed a gray space, trapping Zhao Feng within it. "Are you prepared?" Zhao Feng murmured. Even though he hadn't come into contact with the heaven-defying faction while he was growing stronger, he was still able to understand the heaven-defying faction. But the heaven-defying faction was no fool. They knew of Zhao Feng's potential, and the 7 divine emissaries were not enough to deal with Zhao Feng. Thus, the heaven-defying faction had long ago prepared an array for the divine emissaries. Not even a top-class God King would be able to escape. The 7 divine emissaries controlled the 7 stars' enigmatic formation and attacked Zhao Feng. In truth, they also found this hard to accept. 7 mighty divine emissaries working together actually needed to borrow the Heaven's Legacy Race's array to deal with Zhao Feng. Fortunately, the right protector had given them this array, or else they might have lost their lives to Zhao Feng once more. Kaboom! Several streaks of silver light appeared in the surrounding mist and gradually expanded as they shot toward Zhao Feng with lightning-like speed. These stars contained the power of the 7 divine emissaries and the array. They were enough to injure a top-class God King. Zhao Feng's body swayed as he dodged, but at the same time, another massive star flew at him from the left. As expected of the Heaven's Legacy array. Even if I dodge it once, there's still a second time. Even if I dodge it a 7th time, I'll probably be met with an even more powerful killing move. Zhao Feng would not underestimate the Heaven's Legacy Race's array. If he chose to continue dodging, he would only sink deeper and deeper into the killing array. Immediately breaking the array was the best choice. In addition, Zhao Feng's 9th god, I sensed danger. 7 trifling divine emissaries would find it difficult to affect Zhao Feng. However, he could not be careless against the Heaven's Legacy Race. Since this was the case, there was no need to be secretive. To Zhao Feng, breaking the array was extremely simple. Buzz. BZZZ. Dream origins surged in his left eye, and his thought power began to circulate as he focused on one of the stars flying toward him. Change course. An intense thought took form. Instantly, the huge silver star moved a certain distance to the right. Bang! The silver star that had shifted its position collided with another star. A terrifying storm of divine power spread out within the array formation. These stars were all orbiting according to the array's trajectory. If there was an error in their trajectory, the entire array would be in trouble. At the same time, the entire 7-star profound array fell into chaos. What's going on? There's an error in the array's operation. Divine Emissary Wu bellowed. How could a low-level flaw appear in the Heaven's Legacy Race's array? The 7 divine emissaries did their utmost to repair the array. But at this moment, a voice resounded in their minds. Self-detonate the array. The speaker was none other than the Heaven's Legacy Race's right protector. Yes, although they didn't know what was going on, the 7 divine emissaries immediately carried out the order. Suddenly, an astonishingly frightening aura of divine power emerged from the spirit formation. Bang! A massive primal chaos tribulation lightning sword exuding a world-shaking aura slowly stabbed out of the array. The 7-star profound array was greatly weakened after falling into chaos, allowing Zhao Feng to charge up his energy and smoothly break the array. How could this be? Divine Emissary Wu was alarmed. He hadn't expected Zhao Feng to so easily break their 7-star profound array. The 7 rapidly retreated. Boom! Bang! Crash! The array fiercely pulsed with energy and exploded. But the 7-star profound array was already damaged, and the 7 divine emissaries had retreated. Without a source of energy, the 7-star profound array's explosive power was greatly reduced. Activating pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant, Zhao Feng charged out of the explosion unscathed. But at this moment, Zhao Feng sensed 2 abnormally powerful energies. Whoosh! A storm of ice howled through the air, suffused with an astonishing law of ice that plunged the world into ice. A black vortex appeared at the edge of the explosion, madly devouring the power of the explosion. 2 God Kings. Zhao Feng's face chilled. These two god kings were both samsara immortal bodies. One of them was the blue-haired elder that Zhao Feng had fought in the heaven-defying faction Divine Kingdom, and the other was God King Swallow Devour. At this moment, Zhao Feng understood that the sense of danger from his left eye had come from the right protector. If Zhao Feng were to face the blue-haired elder and God King Swallow Devour directly, he would definitely be cautious and even retreat. Thus, the right protector had used the 7 divine emissaries as bait to trap Zhao Feng in the 7-star profound array so that the two god kings could launch a sneak attack. But not even the right protector had expected Zhao Feng to break the array so quickly. If Zhao Feng had underestimated the 7 divine emissaries at the start, he would have been heavily injured by the 7 of them, the 7-star profound array, and the 2 god kings. In the rear, within the Heaven's Legacy Race's Black Gold warship, the right protector had a savage look on his face. This kid seems to have noticed, but against 2 god kings, I'd like to see what you can do. Die! God King Swallow Devour's expression chilled. When Zhao Feng tried to persuade him to join the God Eye Alliance, God King Swallow Devour had refused. In the following battle, he admitted defeat in front of Zhao Feng. In the end, his sacred land was destroyed by the Heaven Lord, and he himself was killed by the Heaven Lord, becoming a samsara immortal body. God King Swallow Devour was filled with hatred. He hated how unfair fate was. He focused all his hatred on Zhao Feng. He wanted Zhao Feng to suffer the same fate as him. Kaboom! After absorbing the power of the explosion, God King Swallow Devour's attacks were strengthened. On the other side, the blue-haired elder used his ice law to seal off Zhao Feng's movements. Duish, using his space-time law and pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascended, Zhao Feng transformed into an indistinct streak of silver light that flew away. 2 god kings were rather troublesome to deal with, especially since they were both samsara immortal bodies. But how could Zhao Feng run away just because of this? Primal Chaos Domain. Zhao Feng unleashed a vast primal chaos domain that seeped into the surrounding space, creating a dark primal chaos domain. In the primal chaos domain, he would be strengthened while his enemies would be suppressed and weakened. Duish, pushing his speed to the limit, Zhao Feng flew toward the blue-haired elder. I'll kill you first. Zhao Feng's face chilled as primal chaos divine power rippled in his hand. Ha, kill me. The blue-haired elder couldn't help but laugh. Firstly, as a god king, he would not die so easily. Secondly, as a samsara immortal body, as long as he was not quickly destroyed, he could slowly recover. Thirdly, they were 2 god kings working together, and God King Swallow Devour was a top-class god king with outstanding fighting power. Then let's try. Zhao Feng murmured with a cold expression. Thousand Ice Seal. The blue-haired elder called out. The surrounding space immediately turned cold, and the icy storm in the air began to freeze and gather. Torrents of primal chaos energy and the space ancestral artifact fragment clashed. Zhao Feng had used the perfected law of the space ancestral artifact fragment and his primal chaos energy to begin with, allowing his primal chaos domain to gain the upper hand. Primal chaos shrouds the heavens. The primal chaos energy that Zhao Feng had been gathering in his hand was unleashed. A dark and gloomy hand of a god demon appeared in the sky, devouring the energy of the world as it rumbled down. The primal chaos shrouds the heavens was a higher-level offensive skill that Zhao Feng had comprehended. Although it was not as nimble as the primal chaos lightning sword, its explosive power far surpassed the latter. Boom! Bang! Hiss! As the palm came crashing down, a violent ball of thunder retribution power erupted from it. This boundless energy invaded the blue-haired elder's body and began to destroy his samsara immortal body. Primal Chaos Lightning Eye. At the same time, Zhao Feng's left eye unleashed a powerful eye bloodline technique. A dark tribulation lightning sword seal descended from the sky, imprinting itself on the blue-haired elder's head. This was not the end. If he wanted to kill a samsara immortal body, he needed to destroy it instantly. Buzz! BZZZ. Zhao Feng activated Heaven Ascendant and condensed a powerful spatial blade. This spatial blade pierced through the world and descended upon the blue-haired elder's body. God King Swallow Devour was stunned. In terms of speed, he was inferior to Zhao Feng. He had not expected for Zhao Feng to instantly unleash such a ferocious attack as soon as he got close to the blue-haired elder. Even when he was alive, he would have found it very difficult to block. Don't even think about it. God King Swallow Devour roared as he circulated his devouring law. He could not allow Zhao Feng to kill the blue-haired elder. Chapter 1560. Zhao Feng's sudden attack left the blue-haired elder powerless to resist. Behind him, God King Swallow Devour was also alarmed. Even when he was alive, he would have found it very difficult to block this attack. Don't even think about it. God King Swallow Devour bellowed as he charged forward. Swallow the heavens, devour the earth. God King Swallow Devour circulated his divine power and used a powerful secret art. In an instant, a vortex that looked like a ferocious maw appeared above the blue-haired old man. It fiercely sucked in all the energy of the world around it. God King Swallow Devour knew that Zhao Feng was extremely fast and had the pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant. If he attacked Zhao Feng, the effect would not be very good. Thus, he used a devouring art to devour the attacks around the elder and weaken them. The blue-haired elder was a samsara immortal body, so as long as he was not quickly killed, he could recover. This was one of the monstrosities of the samsara immortal body. Zhao Feng activated his left eye and stared at the blue-haired elder. This person had to die, or else he would be very difficult to deal with against two god kings. After taking a blow from the primal chaos heaven-shrouding hand, the primal chaos lightning eye, and the space blade from the pseudo-ancestral artifact, the blue-haired elder's body had almost completely collapsed, leaving only a small part of his body. However, the devouring maw created a powerful suction force that madly devoured all the energy in the surroundings, causing Zhao Feng's attacks to weaken. If this continued, Zhao Feng's attacks would not necessarily be able to kill the blue-haired elder. Dying, Zhao Feng focused his left eye, activating his dream origin energy. His dazzling left eye immediately began to glow with dreamy colors. The surrounding combatants were all captivated by this sight. The colors were simply too beautiful. God, I illusory oblivion. With this thought, Zhao Feng's vision began to change. All the colors of the dreamy world gathered on the blue-haired elder's tattered body. Everything around him seemed to turn black and white, with only that smear of color attracting the most attention. But suddenly, that dazzling color burst like a bubble, and the blue-haired elder vanished. Within the black gold warship, the right protector's eye of samsara sensed something. A god monarch samsara immortal body was already difficult to deal with, but Zhao Feng had just killed his god monarch samsara immortal body completely. One had to realize that not even a top-class god king could instantly obliterate an ordinary god king, leaving nothing behind, but Zhao Feng had done it. Zhao Feng. A crazed look appeared on God King Swallow Devour's face as he savagely roared. When he first met Zhao Feng, he believed that he was stronger than Zhao Feng, but in the end, he was unable to devour Zhao Feng's god eye origin and could only concede. But now, a few years had passed, and he had joined hands with another godly king, yet they were actually unable to do anything to Zhao Feng. What was even more ridiculous was that the blue-haired old man was killed by Zhao Feng, and he was unable to stop it. Die! God King Swallow Devour roared, and with a wave of his hand, he unleashed a storm of dark energy. This energy was the energy he had just devoured, and it contained the energy of Zhao Feng's various killing moves. Uish! Zhao Feng circulated Heaven Ascendant and turned into a streak of silver light that sped away. This is a time of war. God King Swallow Devour can absorb the energy around him, greatly increasing his strength. Zhao Feng rationally analyzed. Although God King Swallow Devour had conceded in front of him, that was because he could not devour the dream origin, limiting his strength. But on this vast battlefield, God King Swallow Devour could devour as he pleased, and he was also a samsara immortal body. Zhao Feng would find it very difficult to kill him like he had killed the blue-haired old man. But there was still a way. The God Eye Alliance had long ago known that the heaven-defying faction had many samsara immortal bodies, and the Sage faction had developed a countermeasure. Nearby, a white-robed youth holding a folding fan in one hand and a black array plate in the other was standing on a battlefield. This was none other than the person Zhao Feng had met in the burning heaven sea, Tang Bai. Tang Bai had long ago broken into the second heaven and was at the peak of the second heaven. His strength could not be underestimated. After the Life Sacred Land sent out its summons, the God-sealing Sacred Land had swiftly arrived to form an alliance. Seal. Tang Bai placed a hand on the black array plate. Many white runes surged out of it, forming chains that shot forward. Nearby, a samsara immortal body was fighting with a Sacred Land member. But suddenly, a few white crystal rune chains wrapped around him. What is it? The samsara immortal body grimaced and struggled, but he realized that his strength was greatly limited and growing weaker. Withdraw. Tang Bai activated the array disc, and the white crystal rune chains instantly retracted. The samsara immortal body was also pulled into the black array plate. Many thanks. The man fighting with the samsara immortal body expressed his thanks and charged forward once more. The God-sealing race was skilled in sealing the heavens, sealing the earth, and sealing the gods. When their sealing arts were combined with the arrays of the Sage faction, they formed an even more powerful sealing technique that could effectively target the undying samsara immortal body. Brother Zhao. Tang Bai turned his head to the side to look at Zhao Feng. Just a moment ago, he had received a message from Zhao Feng. God King Swallow Devour. This isn't someone I can deal with. Tang Bai glanced at God King Swallow Devour, who was doggedly pursuing Zhao Feng, and grimaced. However, he still hurried over. At the same time, some of the nearby God-sealing Sacred Land experts also began to gather. Tang Bai alone was naturally not enough to deal with a God King. All of you scram. God King Swallow Devour also noticed that something was wrong and roared, unleashing a terrifying wave of black energy that swept through the surroundings. With his strength as a top-class God King, he could easily kill a first or second heaven Godlord. Don't even think about it. Zhao Feng's expression chilled. Although these people did not have very high fighting power, they had techniques that could counter samsara immortal bodies. Dreamification. Zhao Feng's left eye began to revolve, sending dreamy mist into the world. With Zhao Feng at the center, everything was gradually covered in dreamy colors, a dazzling paradise. Under the effects of dreamification, God King Swallow Devour was instantly weakened, and his top-class God King energy was vanquished by Zhao Feng. This move again? God King Swallow Devour grimaced. Back then, he had been forced to concede by this move from Zhao Feng. But the situation was different now, and this move was not very effective against him. Swallow. God King Swallow Devour bellowed, and several dozen devouring black holes appeared in a radius of several 100,000 li. He could not devour Zhao Feng's dream origin, but he could devour the divine power of the other experts on the battlefield. Attack. Zhao Feng's expression was calm as he growled. Extinguish. Zhao Feng circulated his thought power and focused his attention on God King Swallow Devour. Gradually, the energy in God King Swallow Devour's body began to fade. At the same time, the members of the God-sealing Sacred Land activated their array plates. Swish, swish, swish. Several dozen crystalline chains flew out and wrapped around God King Swallow Devour. In a flash, God King Swallow Devour's energy was somewhat sealed. You bastards think you can deal with me? God King Swallow Devour's expression did not change as he roared. Boom! Suddenly, God King Swallow Devour's body exploded with supreme energy. This was the energy he had just devoured from the battlefield. A pitch-black tornado emerged from his body, shattering the chains around God King Swallow Devour and causing the sealing effect to gradually fade. Die in peace. Zhao Feng focused, his left eye flashing with primal chaos lightning. Cackrack, a primal chaos tribulation lightning sword, descended upon God King, Swallow Devour's body and soul. It unleashed a vast energy that wreaked havoc on God King Swallow Devour's body and soul, causing him to go stiff. At the same time, the members of the God-sealing sacred land once more exerted their strength, sending out chains that wrapped around God King Swallow Devour. Don't even think about trapping me. God King Swallow Devour struggled. Pitch-black vortexes appeared in a radius of several 100,000 li, devouring the energy of the battlefield. This God King Swallow Devour is too difficult to deal with. Even if we seal his energy, he can still devour it and obtain energy from somewhere else. Tang Bai's face was ghastly pale. Moreover, the other experts of the heaven-defying faction were approaching to save God King Swallow Devour. I have the final say in this region. Zhao Feng's face chilled as he began to circulate his thought power. God King Swallow Devour's devouring range just happened to be within the range of Zhao Feng's dreamification. Extinguish. As he circulated his thought power, an unfathomable and unstoppable energy descended upon the world. The black devouring vortexes gradually disappeared. How could this be? God King Swallow Devour was stunned. He had been weakened by dreamification and sealed by the God-sealing race, so his strength had fallen by more than a level. However, he could devour other energies to unleash powerful attacks and break free. But now, he could no longer devour others. Okay, Tang Bai rejoiced and began to burn his divine power, using a secret sealing art to activate the arrayed disc in his hand. Hurry and destroy these seals. God King Swallow Devour hurriedly called out. Those who had come to save God King Swallow Devour immediately began to move, targeting the members of the God-sealing sacred land. I said before that I have the final say in this region. Zhao Feng's cold and gloomy voice rang out once more. As he circulated his thought power, the enemies in the dreamification region began to fade away. In the face of all this, they were powerless to resist and could only die in fear. No, a third heaven god lord did his best to struggle, but this only served to increase his fear. Zhao Feng's god-eye energy was getting stronger and stronger. How could an expert of the same level possibly resist his dream eye bloodline technique? In the end, the third heaven god lord's body vanished. Too powerful. Absurd. Many members of the God-sealing clan were astonished. God King Swallow Devour gradually began to lose the ability to resist. In the dreamification region, Zhao Feng was incredibly powerful and had the God-sealing race's sealing techniques. God King Swallow Devour could only resign himself to his fate. Once God King Swallow Devour's strength began to weaken, Zhao Feng gathered up a large amount of primal chaos energy and used the heaven-eclipsing primal chaos hand to kill him. Now, two God Kings had fallen to Zhao Feng. At this moment, Zhao Feng activated his left eye and looked into the distance. There, the battle between the gods and the Heaven Lord was causing the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to quake. Chapter 1561. In the boundless void, the battle between the god and the Heaven Lord was awe-inspiring. The god eyes had 5 god eyes, the bright sun god, the celestial sword god, and Sikong Dao, a total of 8 gods. Of the 5 god eyes, the myriad forms god eye, the god eye of life, and the genius god Sikong Dao were responsible for defense. The death, space-time, divine punishment god eyes, the bright sun god, and the celestial sword god were responsible for attacking. But in such a situation, they still did not have the upper hand. No matter who it is, no one can stop me. The Heaven Lord's calm face was suffused with majesty and tyranny. Rumble. The Heaven Lord was surrounded by wind, lightning, and fire, all mixed with destructive energy. No one dared to approach. After absorbing the destruction origin, the power of the Heaven Lord attacks had risen to a whole new level. Ordinary gods would find it impossible to block them. For this reason, the God Eye Alliance put 3 gods in charge of defense. Kill. The chief sovereign of death roared. The three god-eye deities responsible for attacking attacked at the same time. This pitch-black torrent of energy, fused with heavenly punishment lightning, was wrapped in space-time energy as it shot toward the Heaven Lord. At this moment, the three god-eye deities responsible for attacking were rather well-coordinated, able to fuse their attacks together and increase their power. On the other side, the celestial sword Hegemin wielded a damaged ancient sword. He gently slashed out, and a dazzling white streak of sword light chopped out. As for the bright sun sovereign, he had already transformed into a giant golden-red bird. He opened his mouth and spat out a scorching firestorm. Scram! The Heaven Lord coldly shouted. The ancient god-devil body exploded with divine power, causing the surrounding space to crumble. Punches were thrown out one after another. Shocking punches swept out, destroying everything in their path. The battle between the two sides was like lightning. In less than an instant, they had exchanged dozens of blows. What a powerful ancient god-fiend body. It's even stronger than before. Zhao Feng was secretly shocked. Logically speaking, the Heaven Lord had only evolved the heavenly Tao God-Eye, but Zhao Feng sensed that the ancient God-Devil body was even stronger than before. Putting aside the heavenly Tao God-Eye, the ancient God-Devil body alone made the Heaven Lord stronger than any other God-Eye deity. This meant that the Heaven Lord definitely possessed the complete ancient race bloodline and could use its full strength. Thump! Thump! As he watched the battle between the God-Eye deities and the Heaven Lord, Zhao Feng's left eye began to pulse. The dreamy silver orb trembled violently as the origin of dream trembled. For now, I'll just do what I can. Zhao Feng turned around and swept his gaze across the battlefield. Although he had the ninth God Eye, Zhao Feng's current strength was not enough to interfere in the God battlefield. On the contrary, he would become the enemy's weakness, allowing the Heaven Lord to take advantage of it. In addition, stimulated by the God Eye and the heavenly Tao God Eye, Zhao Feng's dream god, I seemed to be extremely excited, and large amounts of dream origin began to pour out. At this time, Zhao Feng could feel an unending stream of dream origin power. This was the perfect time to vent it all through the battle. Kill! Zhao Feng's figure flashed, and he flew out. With the space pseudo-ancestral artifact and the space-time law, he held the advantage on this battlefield in terms of speed. Chi! As he flew forward, dark lightning flashed, leaving a bloody path in his wake. When Zhao Feng used his full strength, he could even kill top-class god kings. He posed almost no threat on this battlefield, and to his enemies, he was a god of death, a taboo. Retreat! Cries of alarm rang out as the nearby experts began to retreat. But Zhao Feng was too fast. If he wanted to kill someone, there was no way he could escape. Zhao Feng rampaged through the battlefield, killing without end. Oh no! Divine Emissary Wu was alarmed, his heart trembling. He had been targeted by Zhao Feng. Thuish! Divine Emissary Wu's body exploded with tyrannical and evil demonic energy. Black streams of light revolved around his body as he fled. Dying! Zhao Feng pursued, getting closer and closer. No! Divine Emissary Wu was enraged. He had been watching the battle between Zhao Feng and the two god kings this entire time. After the two god kings were defeated, he had done all he could to get as far away from Zhao Feng as possible, but he had still run into him. Even two god kings with samsara immortal bodies had died to Zhao Feng. How could he possibly put up any resistance against Zhao Feng? That made sense. Even if he tried to escape, it would be useless. Swoosh! With a wave of Zhao Feng's hand, several dozen primal chaos tribulation lightning swords formed and shot forward, sealing off Divine Emissary Wu's path of retreat. Two of the primal chaos tribulation lightning swords pierced through Divine Emissary Wu's body, causing him to stiffen. Primal chaos lightning eye. His left eye activated, and a powerful eye bloodline technique shot out. Kakrak! A primal chaos lightning sword seal appeared above Divine Emissary Wu's head. In a thunderous explosion, Divine Emissary Wu's body was obliterated. After killing divine emissary Wu, Zhao Feng moved on to the other divine emissaries, his targets being the other divine emissaries. It wasn't very good to be a dead man, but he just had to come back to life so he could kill him again. But Zhao Feng would not be stingy with his swords. That vicious and icy cold killing intent caused the enemies to be terror-stricken and flee in all directions. A few moments later, another divine emissary was slain. A second, a third, and then a fourth on the Black Gold warship, the heaven-defying faction's Gao Ran was also watching. If we let this kid continue, our people will be finished. A Heaven's Legacy race elder said, his eyes brimming with anger. To think that he would have grown so much in such a short time. Yu Luping was stunned. Zhao Feng's strength had already left a shadow in his heart. We can only send a God King to hold down this kid for now. The Right Protector clenched his teeth helplessly. The God Eye Alliance had made ample preparations, and with the help of the Sage faction, they were far stronger than the Heaven-defying faction had imagined. Even so, the Heaven-defying faction still held the advantage. However, Zhao Feng's wanton slaughter had a major effect on the battlefield and had almost reversed the situation. Based on the Right Protector's judgment, almost no one on their side could kill Zhao Feng. Since this was the case, they could only hold down Zhao Feng for now and not let him continue his slaughter. Swish! As Zhao Feng rampaged through the battlefield, the enemies he killed scattered in waves, their hearts trembling in fear. At this moment, a bloody roar resounded. "Brat, don't be impudent." A dark red streak of light flew over, transforming into a middle-aged man wearing a blood-colored robe. The Blood Spirit Sacred Land's God, King Fiendblood. The Blood Spirit Sacred Land was the first sacred land to fall to the Heaven Lord, and God King Fiendblood was now a samsara immortal body. "If you want to fight, let's fight." Zhao Feng exploded forward, primal chaos tribulation, lightning energy surging around him. As he approached God King Fiendblood, several dozen primal chaos tribulation lightning swords appeared around Zhao Feng and shot forward. Whoosh! Whoosh! God King Fiendblood flew through the air, exuding bloody ripples as he avoided Zhao Feng's attack with the least amount of damage. Dying! Zhao Feng's eyes focused as he formed an extremely heavy primal chaos tribulation lightning sword in his hand and slashed. God King Fiendblood waved his hand, unleashing a bloody vortex to block the attack. The divine power in the blood-colored vortex was violent, bloodthirsty, and extremely powerful. Boosh! As Zhao Feng destroyed the vortex, God King Fiendblood retreated, dodging the attack. "You want to hold me down?" Zhao Feng finally understood. Although God King Fiendblood was charging forward, he had come to hold him down. This killing intent was God King Fiendblood's own, not aimed at Zhao Feng. "You can't do anything even if you know." God King Fiendblood gave a strange smile. As a top-class God King, if he didn't fight with Zhao Feng, would Zhao Feng be able to kill him? He also didn't believe that Zhao Feng would choose to avoid a fight. "You're too confident, and you're looking down on the ninth god too much." Zhao Feng couldn't help but chuckle. Dreamy light flowed through his left eye as large amounts of dream origin surged out. Dreamification. With Zhao Feng at the center, the world was quickly covered in dreamy colors. In this dazzling space, everyone's minds were suddenly filled with an indescribable strange feeling, and their condition in all aspects rapidly deteriorated. Zhao Feng immediately focused the effects of dreamification on God King Fiendblood. "Let's go." God King Fiendblood immediately retreated, at least out of the range of dreamification. Spatial isolation. Zhao Feng activated the pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant. As a pseudo-ancestral artifact, it did not just have defensive abilities. Spatial isolation was one of its abilities. Swish! Space surged behind God King Fiendblood, forming a thick spatial wall that isolated everything from the outside world. Pseudo-ancestral artifact. God King Fiendblood's face darkened as he inwardly cursed. He could only change directions now. if he used spatial isolation to temporarily stop God King Fiendblood, Zhao Feng would not let him go so easily. Primal Chaos Domain. He unleashed his primal chaos energy. A dark and twisted domain overlapped with a dreamification domain. Under the effects of these two domains, God King Fiendblood was even more suppressed. His speed and movement techniques were already quite good, but now they were completely suppressed and rendered ineffective. Blood Spirit Explosion. God King Fiendblood's face hardened as his body erupted with a heaven-shaking and bloody energy. Boom! Bang! God King Fiendblood's body turned into a dark red ball of blood that suddenly exploded. The fiendish blood energy instantly dispelled the effects of the primal chaos energy, and God King Fiendblood turned into a bloody trail that rapidly vanished. You can't escape. Zhao Feng's face chilled as he brought his palms together, the primal chaos domain surging. With the dream god eye, Zhao Feng knew God King Fiendblood's every move like the back of his hand. He had long since been on guard against God King Fiendblood's secret art. God King Fiendblood was only here to hold down Zhao Feng, so he only needed to do two things. The first was not to be killed by Zhao Feng, and the second was to hold down Zhao Feng so that Zhao Feng could not kill anyone else. Buzz. BZZZ. Large amounts of dream origin energy surged as God King Fiendblood activated his realization ability. God King Fiendblood's speed suddenly slowed to a crawl. Although it was only for a moment, it was enough. Primal Chaos Lock. All the primal chaos energy in the primal chaos domain surged toward God King Fiendblood. Once the primal chaos lock was formed, it would constantly devour the enemy's energy. God King Fiendblood, who had just used a secret art, was already in a weakened state. Not only did he fail to escape, but he was also trapped by Zhao Feng. Extinguish. Zhao Feng used his dream origin energy to use dreamification. At this moment, he had an abundance of dream origin energy. He did not need to be frugal or squander it. God King Fiendblood was unable to resist the dream origin energy, and his body gradually faded away. Even though he had a samsara immortal body, he could not keep up with the devouring speed of the primal chaos lock and the destruction speed of dreamification. God King Fiendblood's body slowly faded away. I didn't think that I would die again so soon. God King Fiendblood chuckled. He had not attacked Zhao Feng on his own accord. As a samsara immortal body, he could only act according to the orders of the heaven-defying faction. Whoosh! A few moments later, God King Fiendblood completely vanished. This time, Zhao Feng had single-handedly killed a God King. This scene caused the hearts of the heaven-defying faction's members to tremble, and they were completely speechless. At this moment, Yu Qianwu suddenly messaged Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, I'll give you a mission. Interfere with the enemy warships. If you can destroy some of their installations, that would naturally be best. The two warships of the Heaven's Legacy race possessed immense destructive power and were one of the most powerful weapons on the battlefield. Okay, that's exactly what I was thinking. Zhao Feng nodded. Wish. In a flash of light, Zhao Feng used the primal chaos tribulation lightning energy to slaughter his way toward the heaven-defying faction's warships in the rear. The upper echelon members of the heaven-defying faction couldn't help but guess at Zhao Feng's goal. His goal is this place. Yu Liuping's heart trembled in inexplicable fear. Perfect. If he dares to approach our warships, I'll make sure he never returns. The left protector's face was grim and savage. Chapter 1562. Due to the lack of time, the Sage faction's silver warships were not very well equipped, so the Sage faction focused on defense. The heaven-defying faction's black gold warships were well equipped, and their offensive capabilities were unparalleled. Firstly, both warships were equipped with large-scale destruction weapons. However, the battlefield was chaotic, and the enemies and allies were mixed together. This kind of weapon was not very useful. But besides that, the warships were also equipped with small-scale destruction weapons and offensive arrays that had a massive effect on the battlefield. The members of the heaven-defying faction's black gold warships could only defend and dodge. In a clash between experts, a moment of distraction could be fatal, let alone the interference of the warships. But in this situation, the heaven-defying faction's members were helpless. The firepower of the two warships was so fierce that normal experts could not even get close. A God King had tried to get close to the black gold warship, but he was immediately bombarded by countless attacks and was forced to flee with heavy injuries. By now, Zhao Feng had arrived at the rear of the battlefield. Everyone nearby couldn't help but guess at Zhao Feng's goal. I wonder if he can affect the enemy warships. I hope so. Quite a few members of the heaven-defying faction still held onto a sliver of hope. Impossible. Even a top-class God King would find it difficult to get close to that black gold warship. The Tantai Zone's God King Golden Dragon shook his head. The upper echelon members of the heaven-defying faction on the black gold warship also noticed Zhao Feng's movements. The arrays and weapons on the warship began to adjust, apparently planning to give Zhao Feng a head-on blow. Come! Zhao Feng's expression was solemn and fearless. In fact, there was even a hint of anticipation. His left eye was constantly trembling in excitement. Right now, Zhao Feng only had one goal: fight. Through this intense battle, he would squeeze out more of the Dream God Eye's power. From the start of the battle until now, he could clearly sense that the power of his Dream God Eye was getting stronger and stronger. At this moment, Zhao Feng desperately wanted more power. Once I can completely use the Dream God Eye's power, I'll be able to participate in the God battlefield. Zhao Feng said to himself. The battlefield he was on seemed vast and boundless, but it was the God battlefield that could truly affect the outcome of the battle. As the ninth God Eye, he was still unable to participate. This made Zhao Feng rather unwilling. Whoosh! Zhao Feng leapt into the air, approaching the heaven-defying faction's warship. All right, since you've taken the initiative to seek death, this old man will fulfill your wish. Inside the black gold warship, the left protector had a ferocious expression. He and the right protector were both protectors of the heaven-defying faction, but they specialized in different aspects. The left protector was extremely powerful and knew all sorts of terrifying shaman arts and curses of the ancient shaman race. Even God King Radiant Peak was only able to hold him down. The right protector was a member of the Heaven's legacy race and did not have a powerful combat bloodline. All he had was the Eye of Samsara. He secretly controlled the heaven-defying faction and the techniques of the Heaven's legacy race. Only in the territory of the Heaven's legacy race could he display his greatest strength. Attack! The right protector shouted. On the black gold warship, the other Heaven's legacy race members obeyed the orders of the right protector. In the outside world, the firepower of the two black gold warships instantly focused on Zhao Feng. Quite a few experts of the God Eye Alliance were instantly frightened out of their wits. The heaven-defying faction took Zhao Feng very seriously. If it were any other godly monarch, they would probably be instantly killed. Dream Dimension Projection. Dream Origin energy poured out of Zhao Feng's left eye. Using his mental power, he quickly weaved a powerful dream space and released it to permeate the surrounding space. Within this dream dimension, Zhao Feng's strength increased in all aspects. Swish! Several primal chaos, tribulation, lightning, swords appeared around Zhao Feng. The countless attacks of wind, thunder, lightning, and fire had to enter the dream space before they could descend. And in this dimension, Zhao Feng's strength far surpassed common sense. Boom! Plush! Plush! Under Zhao Feng's control, the primal chaos, tribulation, lightning swords danced through the air, destroying all the attacks. Zhao Feng's true fighting power was enough to kill a top-class God King. In this dream dimension, his strength was infinitely close to that of a god. Don't stop! The right protector roared. Dream Dao energy was extremely taxing on the soul. He did not believe that Zhao Feng could endure it. Swish, 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 the attacks rained down on Zhao Feng without pause. The primal chaos, tribulation, lightning sword around Zhao Feng transformed into a primal chaos domain that surged forward to block the enemy's attacks. When one layer of primal chaos tribulation lightning was destroyed, a second layer would immediately replace it. A few moments later, Zhao Feng showed no signs of being unable to hold on. Moreover, he was already extremely close to the Black Gold warships. Activate the middle-sized destruction weapons. The Right Protector ordered. Large-scale destruction weapons were the most powerful, but their range was too large and would affect the members of their own side. We've been prepared. Activate. Several members of the Heaven's Legacy race immediately responded. Buzz. BZZZ. Several dozen circular metal holes suddenly extended from the two Black Gold warships, terrifying ripples of divine power surging out of them. Is it coming? Zhao Feng's expression darkened, and his primal chaos domain surged as he prepared himself. Broom! Suddenly, beams of white light, several dozen feet thick, erupted from various parts of the two Black Gold warships. The divine power contained within these beams was extremely pure, as if they had been fired from supreme-quality god crystals. These beams of white light also contained a destruction law. Each beam of white light approached an ordinary god king, but under the control of the heaven-defying faction, all of them struck Zhao Feng at the same time. If not for the fact that Zhao Feng was in the dream dimension, he would not have dared to take on such a terrifying power. Dreamification. Zhao Feng's left eye once more circulated, sending vast amounts of dream origin energy into the surrounding space. The dream dimension strengthened the user, while dreamification weakened the enemy. The combination of the two was extremely effective. The overlapping of dreamification and dream dimension projection caused the world around Zhao Feng to become dazzling and enchanting. One would find it impossible to imagine that this was a scene from a battle. Defend. After using dreamification to weaken the enemy's destruction attacks, Zhao Feng focused on defense. First, the primal chaos domain shrank into a gloomy sphere that wrapped around Zhao Feng. Spatial energy. Zhao Feng activated pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascended, using its perfected space law to fuse with the primal chaos domain to strengthen its defenses. Finally, Zhao Feng used the primal chaos lightning vortex. This was the strongest defense Zhao Feng could use at the moment. Boom! BZZ. Surrounded by these layers of defense, everything around Zhao Feng trembled. His left eye was able to see through everything to see what was happening outside. In the face of this massive destruction attack, Zhao Feng's dream dimension was being torn apart. If not for the massive amount of dream origin energy supporting it, it would have already been shattered. Boom! Mag! The primal chaos domain's defenses were slowly worn away, allowing the destruction attack to descend upon the primal chaos lightning vortex. The heaven-defying faction's attack was now weakened, and it was no longer as powerful as before, but the primal chaos lightning vortex was still being torn apart. Void Spirit Barrier. Zhao Feng activated the pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascended and used its defensive abilities. A translucent layer of dark silver spatial energy condensed into a barrier that protected Zhao Feng. Within the warship, the members of the heaven-defying faction were all tensed up. No one had expected Zhao Feng to be able to last this long. The spatial barrier protecting Zhao Feng was slowly fading, but their attacks were also on the verge of fading. In the end, Zhao Feng was unharmed. How dangerous! Zhao Feng breathed a sigh of relief. He had been able to block this attack mainly because of his vast dream origin energy and the outstanding defensive abilities of the pseudo-ancestral artifact. He blocked it. Many experts on the battlefield stared at Zhao Feng like he was a monster. There was probably no one else present who could block such a powerful attack. This kid, is there really nothing I can do about him? The Right Protector had a nasty grimace. As a God Eye wielder, Zhao Feng's strength was constantly increasing through the stimulation of the God Eye. It probably wouldn't be long before he became another God Eye deity. Oomph. The Heaven Lord will deal with him. The Right Protector grimaced and coldly snorted. At this moment, outside the warship, Zhao Feng said, "It's time for me to give you a big gift." Eye of Heaven. Zhao Feng's eye intent carried his eye bloodline as he left his divine body and floated into the air. The enormous silver eye exuded an indescribable pressure. God Eye duplication. A roar came from the soul dimension. A large amount of dreamy mist began to seep out of the dreamy scheme. Suddenly, a white light shone out of the dreamy mist. An astonishing pillar of white light exploded forward, its target none other than the black gold warship the Right Protector was on. Originally, Zhao Feng would have found it very difficult to duplicate such a powerful attack, but dream origin energy continued to gush out, making it practically inexhaustible. Coupled with the fact that the duplication time was rather long, Zhao Feng succeeded. Within the warship, how could this be? This is bad. What do we do? When everyone saw this, their hands trembled. They were at a loss of what to do. None of them had expected Zhao Feng to be able to unleash such an attack. It was as if he had turned their attack into his own and was now attacking them. Although the Black Gold warship also had extremely powerful defensive abilities, it had been in an offensive state just now, so it was difficult for it to switch so quickly. Boom! Bang! A crystalline pillar of white light shot into the Black Gold warship's core. Flames soared into the sky from various parts of the Black Gold warship, and thick smoke rose. Wonderful! The members of their side hadn't expected such a reversal. Zhao Feng hadn't just destroyed a small part of the warship. He had destroyed the core, almost crippling the entire warship. On the white warship, Yu Qianwu also revealed a look of surprise. Whoosh! The Eye of Heaven vanished, and his soul returned to his body. Zhao Feng immediately charged toward the damaged Black Gold warship. The Black Gold warship had suffered heavy casualties. Run! All the surviving members guessed that Zhao Feng wouldn't let go of this chance, so they immediately fled. Ooish! The Right Protector turned into a plume of black smoke and slipped out. Although the Right Protector was also a top-class God King, he was not skilled in combat, so he wouldn't fight with Zhao Feng. You can't escape. Zhao Feng's cold and indifferent voice resounded. He could ignore the other small fries, but how could he let go of a person like the Right Protector? Chapter 1563. The Right Protector's heart shivered when he saw that Zhao Feng had long since locked onto him and was charging at him while ignoring everyone else. Although he was not skilled in combat, he was still a top-class God King of the Heaven's Legacy race. However, the Right Protector knew that he was no match for Zhao Feng, so he chose to run. Swish, swish, swish. With a wave of his hand, several dozen primal chaos tribulation lightning swords formed and shot forward. The Right Protector made no attempt to dodge, choosing to flee as fast as he could. Boom! Bang! Several primal chaos tribulation lightning swords pierced through the Right Protector's body, but his samsara immortal body allowed him to quickly recover. At the same time, another warship of the heaven-defying faction switched to a defensive stance and approached to save the Right Protector. Stay, old turtle! Zhao Feng coldly barked. The Right Protector was infuriated by this curse. As the Right Protector of the heaven-defying faction, when had he ever been insulted like this? However, the Right Protector maintained his rationality and continued to flee. But Zhao Feng was already faster than the Right Protector, and the Right Protector's momentary hesitation. Zhao Feng rapidly approached the Right Protector. Intrusive dream. His left eye quickly formed a dream dimension. Zhao Feng's left eye exuded a fatal attraction that made it hard for the Right Protector to maintain his focus and slow him down. Intrusive dream has also gotten stronger. Zhao Feng inwardly rejoiced. The dream god I was getting stronger and stronger. It wasn't just the ability to turn dreams into reality, but also intrusive dream. At the start, Zhao Feng had only planned to affect the Right Protector a little, but the effects of intrusive dream far surpassed his expectations. However, it was still not enough to pull the Right Protector in. Primal Chaos Lightning Eye. His left eye unleashed a powerful eye bloodline technique. Kakrak. A dark lightning sword mark suddenly appeared above the Right Protector's head. The boundless power within it surged downwards. Because of the effects of intrusive dream, the right protector's mind was somewhat muddled. This primal chaos lightning I was unleashed to its greatest extent, bombarding the right protector's soul and body. Primal chaos lock. Zhao Feng released a large amount of chaotic force and clasped his hands together. The wave-like chaotic force surrounded the right protector, as if it was going to envelop him. Right then, the right protector regained consciousness. Whoosh! He immediately tossed out a few pieces of metal, which shone with many mysterious heaven's secret runes, and released a powerful force. A formation? Zhao Feng's left eye focused as he activated his dream origin and activated the power of realization. In an instant, one of the metal blocks disappeared. For special devices that were small in size and didn't have much power that needed to be activated, Zhao Feng's ability could easily erase them. What? The right protector was shocked. The metal instrument he had thrown out was a device to activate the array formation. However, before it was fully formed, Zhao Feng glanced at it and made one of the devices disappear. In this way, the formation could not be fully activated. Chaos Lightning Eyes. Zhao Feng activated his left eye and fired off another powerful eye bloodline technique. At the same time, the Primal Chaos Lock was activated again. By the time the right protector regained consciousness, he had already been enveloped by the Primal Chaos Lock. The energy in his body was gradually being devoured. Samsara immortal bodies were undying and indestructible, but they were still powerless against the Primal Chaos Lock. The Primal Chaos Lock constantly devoured the energy of the trapped person. The right protector could rapidly recover from the destruction of his body, but he didn't have the ability to recover energy. Intrusive Dream. Zhao Feng once more used this eye bloodline technique. This time, the weakened right protector didn't last very long before he was sucked into Zhao Feng's dream dimension. Where is this? The right protector looked around in surprise. He had clearly been trapped by Zhao Feng's Primal Chaos Lock a moment ago. How had he suddenly appeared here? At this moment, a figure appeared in front of him. It was none other than Zhao Feng. However, the current Zhao Feng gave off the impression that the right protector was a mighty figure that he couldn't even contend against. Hisses. Space surged as a terrifying energy instantly gathered on the right protector's body. How could this be? The right protector was pressed to the ground, unable to move. He was extremely shocked. In this strange space, Zhao Feng was so powerful that he couldn't resist at all. Speak. Where's the last space ancestral artifact fragment? Zhao Feng coldly asked. A terrifying pressure constantly assaulted the right protector. Previously, when fighting on the battlefield, Zhao Feng had been roaming around, trying to use the pseudo-ancestral artifact on him to sense the location of the last space ancestral artifact fragment. However, Zhao Feng was somewhat disappointed. Haha, you won't be able to find it in your lifetime. The right protector laughed loudly. It looks like you still don't understand your situation. Zhao Feng's expression turned cold. He reached out and slapped the right protector's head. The right protector knew that Zhao Feng wanted to search his soul, but he discovered that he couldn't even self-detonate. A moment later, Zhao Feng's face turned frosty after learning the answer. With a cold snort, a powerful energy surged out and destroyed the right protector in the dream dimension. Meanwhile, in the outside world, boom! The right protector's body suddenly exploded and disappeared without a trace. Even the Samsara immortal body could not recover from such a situation. How's the situation? The pseudo-ancestral artifact Heaven Ascendant couldn't help but ask. Right now, it only lacked one final piece to become a complete ancestral artifact. How could it not be anxious? It's destroyed. Zhao Feng lowered his head and said. The heaven-defying faction was no fool. They knew that once Zhao Feng obtained the pseudo-ancestral artifact, he would do his best to repair it. Thus, the heaven-defying faction had destroyed the ancestral artifact fragment they had. Dominate the battlefield. The Heaven Lord had an extremely gloomy expression as he learned of the situation on the battlefield. Boom! Bang! The Heaven Lord's body suddenly erupted with a tyrannical energy that could shake the heavens. Endless streams of gold and silver light dyed the heavens. This primordial bloodline is simply a true primordial race. The chief sovereign of Death's heart trembled slightly. Even without the heavenly Tao God Eye, the Death God was no match for the Heaven Lord just by relying on his ancient race bloodline. Take this. A head of gold and silver light began to condense in the Heaven Lord's hands, and it began to exude an ancient energy that could shake the heavens. At this moment, the energy gathered on the Heaven Lord's body caused the world to tremble. The god-eye deities all shivered in fear. No one could guarantee that they would be able to take such a powerful attack. Let's use that, the divine punishment god solemnly said. In the white warship, Lu Qinshin had a complicated expression. After using this, not even my destiny god I will be able to predict what will happen next. In this battle, Yu Qianwu and Lu Qinshin had relied on their destiny energy to secretly influence the outcome of the battle. But once the god eyes used their trump cards, it would be hard to predict what would happen next. There's no other way. This is the only way to defeat the Heaven Lord. The Death God's pitch-black eyes were extremely gloomy. Their god eyes had already reached their limits, but the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God, I could still grow. If they could not eliminate him now, the next time the Heaven Lord appeared, he would probably be even stronger. If all of you agree, then let's do it. Lu Qinshin sighed. For the sake of victory, they had to take this risk. Ancient wrath. The Heaven Lord roared as he pushed forward with both palms. The gold and silver head flew forward, opening its mouth and bellowing in fury. The heavenly Tao God I activated, and the head began to blaze with flames, growing a head of fiery hair. A moment later, the head's eyes began to crackle with lightning. Following that, a thick layer of rock appeared on the surface of the skull. That sinister mouth was emitting a frightening, destructive power. Don't get too carried away. The divine punishment god solemnly said, his lightning-flashing eyes exploding with dazzling light as vast amounts of origin energy surged out. At the same time, the other god-eye deities did the same. With a flick of his hand, all the god-eye origin energy gathered in the air, fusing together into a dark and turbid mist. This mist exuded a dreadful energy that could shake the entire fan universe. Even the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God, I trembled. God-eye fusion art. The Heaven Lord's eyes went wide in recognition. Qianwu, it's you. The Heaven Lord grimaced as he turned to the white warship behind him. That's right. I also know this secret art. Yu Qianwu directly replied. All the god-eye deities were extremely agitated. They didn't know much about the gathering of god-eyes and the summoning of the supreme ancestral eye. In the previous battle, they had worked together to fuse their origin attacks precisely to prepare for this secret art. After all, Yu Qianwu had only just told the gods about this secret art. They had not even tried it yet. In addition, Lu Qinshin did not participate in this fusion. After all, the Destiny God I had not fully recovered. If she participated, it might have the opposite effect. Kaboom! Within the dim and turbid mist of light, an enormous eye of nothingness could be vaguely seen. At this moment, the entire ancient desolate realm of gods and fan universe began to tremble. Countless places in the world began to shatter. This is all we can do, the divine punishment god said through clenched teeth. It was extremely difficult for the 5 god eyes to use this secret art, and all of them were under enormous pressure. Moreover, this was the first time they used it, so the fusion was not very good. Ooish! Boom! Boom! The enormous heavenly Tao God I unleashed a terrifying wave of gray-white light. As it swept past the gold and silver head, the flames, earth, and destruction energies were stripped away layer by layer. In the end, even the energy of the ancient race gradually faded away. This is the power of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. The Heavenly Lord's entire person changed. He was incomparably excited. His 3 eyes were wide open as he stared at the dark and turbid eye of nothingness. Buzz. BZZ. The eye at the center of the Heaven Lord's brow twitched in excitement. Steel. The Heaven Lord roared, his heavenly Tao, God, I'm madly turning. An indescribable suction force erupted from the eye and engulfed the area in front of him. As they were both using heavenly Tao energy, he could naturally absorb it. Kaboom! The 5 gods found it difficult to control this energy for the first time, and the heavenly Tao energy leaking out of the heavenly Tao God, I was absorbed by the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God eye. The Heaven Lord gave a look of extreme enjoyment as he took in a deep breath. One had to realize that when he first formed the heavenly Tao God eye, it had taken him several battles and several years to become proficient in using the heavenly Tao God eye. As for the gods who were using the God eye fusion art for the first time, they naturally found it difficult to control heavenly Tao energy. The Heaven Lord used this chance to absorb a significant amount of heavenly Tao energy. The 5 god eye deities noticed this and began to slowly grasp and control this energy. Of course, it wasn't just the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God eye that was stimulated. Down below, Zhao Feng's left eye felt a stabbing pain as an even more vast dream origin energy seethed within his God eye dimension. Chapter 1564. The 5 god eye deities used the God eye fusion art to create an even more powerful heavenly Tao God eye. Although it was more powerful, it was also more unstable. After all, the 5 gods had only used a secret art to activate this energy, but the Heaven Lord had fused with it permanently. Within a radius of tens of millions of kilometers, everyone was shaken by this terrifying power. Heaven and earth collapsed, the sun and moon turned upside down, and the nearby world was already beyond recognition. A power even stronger than the Heaven Lord? The left protector's heart trembled. Inside the silver warship, Lu Qinxin and Yu Tianwu stared at the distant horizon. This is part of the power of the heavenly law ancestral eye. It should be able to deal with Yu Tianshu. Yu Tianwu muttered. Lu Qinxin's destiny god, I began to exude even more destiny energy under the influence of these 2 heavenly Tao God eyes, causing the energy of her destiny god, I to grow stronger and stronger. It was clear that the 2 heavenly Tao God eyes had also affected Lu Qinxin. But even so, the birth of 2 heavenly Tao God eyes had shaken the fan universe and thrown the heavenly Tao into disarray. Her destiny god, I found it hard to predict anything. In the sky, the power of the heavenly law. The Heaven Lord was extremely excited, and the heavenly Tao eye on his forehead began to tremble. The power of the 5 sovereigns was incomparably familiar to him, and he desperately wanted to obtain it. Swallow. The Heaven Lord used his heavenly Tao God eye to absorb that unknown and powerful heavenly Tao God eye. This was the first time they had used this secret art, and the power was simply too great. It wasn't easy for the 5 hegemons to control it. The Heaven Lord used this chance to absorb the energy of the heavenly Tao God eye to strengthen himself. Rumble, the 2 forces of heavenly Tao did not exchange blows. It was just an invisible clash that caused the surroundings to darken. On the battlefield below, everyone was affected by an unparalleled power. They trembled in fear from the bottom of their hearts. Even the low-level experts had to prostrate themselves before this power. Go! God King Radiant Peak immediately ordered. The battle between the sovereigns was simply too terrifying. If they got too close, they wouldn't even know when they would be killed by the shockwaves. Retreat. On the other side of the battlefield, the left protector commanded everyone to stay away from the ruler-level battlefield. When the entire battlefield was far away, only Zhao Feng was left in the chaotic space. Zhao Feng stood in place, his left eye glowing even more brilliantly. Buzz, the spinning left eye released dreamy whirlpools of light that caused the nearby space to suddenly dissipate like mist. At this moment, the energy exuded by Zhao Feng's left eye made even God King Radiant Peak and the left protector fearful not daring to recklessly approach. Brother Feng, Zhao Yufei couldn't help but cry out. Now that the battlefield had been evacuated, Zhao Feng still stood there as if he hadn't heard anything. There's no need to worry about him. Zhao Feng's ninth god, I, is about to truly appear. When the time comes, he'll probably be able to interfere in a battle between God-Eye deities. God King Radiant Peak's surprised face was tinged with joy. In the distant void, the two heavenly Tao God eyes faced each other from a distance, causing space itself to crumble inch by inch, leaving behind nothing but nothingness. However, this void was still brimming with terrifying energy. Ordinary god lords would die if they approached. Sky Wrath, you control it. We'll support you. The space-time god called out. If all five of them tried to control that energy, it would only make things even more chaotic. Since that was the case, one person would control it while the other supported him. They could not allow the Heaven Lord to continue devouring heavenly Tao energy. They had not come to help the Heaven Lord, but to kill him. Okay, the others reached a consensus. After a few moments of exploration, the five gods smoothly took control of the heavenly Tao God Eye. The speed at which the Heaven Lord devoured heavenly Tao energy also slowed. Heaven Lord, your death has come. The divine punishment god roared. Above their heads, the turbid eye in the gloomy mist seemed to stare at the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye. Victory isn't decided yet. The Heaven Lord's face darkened, a hint of madness appearing on his face. He had absorbed a significant amount of heavenly Tao energy just now, and he could sense that his heavenly Tao God was even stronger than before. Although he was somewhat fearful of the heavenly Tao God formed by the five God-Eye deities, the Heaven Lord was confident that his control over heavenly Tao energy far surpassed theirs. Kill! The divine punishment god roared. Those turbid and blurry eyes emitted a soul-stirring power. Death, divine punishment, space-time, myriad forms, and other energies suddenly erupted. The Heaven Lord coldly snorted as he activated his heavenly Tao God Eye. Boom! Bang! A distorted, destructive light burst forth, containing a powerful force that could annihilate all laws of nature. In its path, the energy unleashed by the five God-Eye deities rapidly vanished. The Heaven Lord had only discovered this energy after some time when he fused with the heavenly Tao God Eye. He was confident that the five God-Eye deities did not know how to use it. As expected, the five God-Eye deities could only use their heavenly Tao God to unleash powerful attacks to block the Heaven Lord's energy. Boom! Bang! The heavenly Tao God formed by the five God-Eye deities was struck by a heavy blow and swayed. Large amounts of heavenly Tao origin surged out, causing the fan universe to tremble. Swallow. The Heaven Lord used his heavenly Tao God to absorb this heavenly Tao energy. This scoundrel! The five God-Eye deities grimaced. Although they had condensed heavenly Tao energy, they were unfamiliar with it, allowing the Heaven Lord to take advantage of it. But compared to familiarity with the heavenly Tao God Eye, the five God Eyes seemed to be much more efficient. Gradually, the five God-Eye deities began to take control of the heavenly Tao God Eye. As expected of God Eyes, they're much faster at controlling this energy. The Heaven Lord became a little more cautious. Die. The five God-Eye deities activated their heavenly Tao God Eyes, their dark and turbid eyes flashing as they unleashed waves of gray-white light that swept forward. Ancient Divine Fist. The Heaven Lord circulated his ancient race bloodline energy and unleashed a peerlessly powerful fist of energy, and then he used his heavenly Tao God to amplify this power. This gold and silver fist of energy was imbued with wind, fire, lightning, and destruction. Boom! Bang! Crash! The two energies collided, stirring up a forbidden storm that surged forward. The two sides were fighting in the Qing Chestnut Zone. But at this moment, the Qing Chestnut Zone was crumbling and in chaos. Countless low-level star factions were devoured by this disaster. and the shock waves of this storm were still spreading, affecting the entire ancient desolate realm of gods. Boom! The battle between the five gods and the Heaven Lord continued. In the distance, only the God Kings of the heaven-defying faction and God Eye Alliance could faintly see what was going on the battlefield. The rest could only hide behind their defensive barriers. Within the white warship, good, the five God Eye deities are gradually gaining the upper hand. Lu Qinshin could clearly see what was going on with her Destiny God Eye. The power of the heavenly Tao God Eye formed by the five God Eye deities was definitely stronger than the Heaven Lord's. The Heaven Lord was only able to rely on his proficiency in using heavenly Tao energy to gain a slight advantage at the start, but that wasn't important. As the five God Eyes gradually gained control of this energy, the Heaven Lord began to fall into a disadvantageous position. Bang! A chaotic wave of gray-white energy shattered the Heaven Lord's attack and struck his body. In a flash, the Heaven Lord's body was almost obliterated, leaving only a tiny portion. Recover! The Heaven Lord pushed his samsara origin energy to its limit, allowing his body to rapidly recover. This scoundrel is truly difficult to deal with. The divine punishment God mentally sighed. Even if the five God Eyes combined their heavenly Tao energy, they would not be able to kill the Heaven Lord in a short amount of time. Although they had the advantage, the Heaven Lord was far too difficult to kill. Moreover, they could sense that the Heaven Lord was occasionally absorbing their heavenly Tao energy during the battle. The Heaven Lord also understood that his opponents were stronger than him, so he was relying on his ancient God-Devil body and samsara immortal body to block their attacks while absorbing some heavenly Tao energy. By doing this, he will be able to reverse the situation. He can devour heavenly Tao energy. I wonder if we can also devour his heavenly Tao God Eyes energy. The Death God had this question in mind. The Heaven Lord was so powerful because his heavenly Tao God Eye was his greatest reliance. If they devoured the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eyes energy, what would the Heaven Lord be able to do? The five gods gradually began to grasp this technique. Devour. The five gods controlled the heavenly Tao God Eye and unleashed a terrifying suction force. All the surrounding energy was shattered, leaving only heavenly Tao energy to gather. You old fogies, stop looking down on me. The Heaven Lord immediately began to exert his strength, his heavenly Tao God Eye erupting with an equally powerful energy. This scoundrel was hiding his strength. The divine punishment God was secretly alarmed. As it turned out, the Heaven Lord was absorbing their heavenly Tao energy to strengthen his heavenly Tao God Eye. But the Heaven Lord had never fully displayed this power. He had been feigning weakness, hoping to absorb more heavenly Tao energy so that he could completely reverse the situation. The five gods were in turmoil when they sensed this. This Heaven Lord was far too scheming. One moment of carelessness, and they almost fell for his tricks. Kaboom! The two heavenly Tao God Eyes exploded with peerless energy as they began to absorb each other's heavenly Tao energy. In this contest of heavenly Tao energy, the fan universe shuddered. The zones around the green chestnut zone were all shattered, as if the apocalypse was about to arrive. In this contest of heavenly Tao God Eye, Zhao Feng was the closest to this area. As time passed, the pain in Zhao Feng's left eye gradually lessened. But the God Eye's transformation was not over. Boundless dream, origin energy surged out of the God Eye dimension. This surging dream, origin energy surged out of Zhao Feng's left eye and transformed into a dazzling dream. But the contest of the heavenly Tao God Eye was far too frightening, so no one noticed this phenomenon. Is this the power of the dream God Eye? Zhao Feng was invigorated. This dream origin energy was not only affecting his left eye, but also permeating every part of Zhao Feng's body. At this moment, he felt like his left eye could unleash an incredible power at the level of a god. He even felt like he could do anything. But dream energy doesn't seem to have much offensive power. Zhao Feng began to think. Of course, even if it didn't have much offensive power, it could still be of enormous use. I wonder if I can repair an ancestral artifact. An astonishing thought emerged in Zhao Feng's mind. Repair an ancestral artifact. An ancestral artifact was born from the great Tao of the world and was unique. If even one piece was missing, it would never be complete. Zhao Feng didn't care too much. He just wanted to give it a try. As he circulated the power of realization, an intense thought formed in his mind. The dream origin energy in Zhao Feng's body was rapidly fading. As for the heaven ascension on his body, it was covered in a layer of dazzling colors. What's going on? Heaven Ascendant's mind trembled. It sensed an extremely intimate and powerful energy acting on its body. Just as it was shocked and confused, Heaven Ascendant suddenly realized that its strength had soared to a new level. Ancestral artifact. Heaven Ascendant's mind was stunned. At this moment, it had recovered to the complete space ancestral artifact. Chapter 1565. As he sensed the incredibly realistic and complete space law, Zhao Feng knew that he had succeeded. Truly inconceivable. Zhao Feng was inwardly stunned. He only believed that his god, I was not suited for offense, so he wanted to test it out of curiosity. He hadn't expected for the pseudo-ancestral artifact, which was missing the last fragment, to be complete. At Zhao Feng's current level, he might have succeeded in duplicating an ancestral artifact fragment, but each ancestral artifact fragment was different. However, every ancestral artifact fragment was different. Zhao Feng had never seen the missing fragment before. However, the ability to turn dreams into reality had accomplished this. Moreover, because Zhao Feng's god, I was in the middle of excitedly transforming, he felt that it hadn't taken much energy. What level has my strength reached now? Zhao Feng was rather curious. He had no way of knowing if he could completely use the Dream God Eye's power. If he could, with the Dream God Eye and the Space Ancestral Artifact, he could be considered a god. But Zhao Feng felt that the Dream God Eye still contained a power that he could not draw out. There's no rush. I already have a complete ancestral artifact. I'll first comprehend the space law and become a god king. Zhao Feng was in no rush. No one noticed Heaven Ascendant's transformation from a pseudo-ancestral artifact to an ancestral artifact. Everyone's attention was focused on the battle between the two heavenly Tao God Eyes. Zhao Feng closed his eyes and stood there just like before. But in truth, he was using the Dream God Eye to create a dream, and his mind entered the dream to cultivate. With a complete space ancestral artifact, Zhao Feng was extremely confident that he could push his space law to perfection. After all, a god king with a god, I was a god. Once Zhao Feng became a god king, he would be a god-eye deity in the boundless void. The Heaven Lord and the five god eyes were still in a standoff. The heavenly Tao God Eye on the Heaven Lord's forehead and the heavenly Tao ancestral eyes above the five gods were staring at each other. The heavenly Tao intents of the two god eyes fiercely clashed, devouring each other's energy. Although there was no mighty momentum, the sight of the two heavenly Tao god eyes was a taboo. Other than the power of the heavenly Tao, no other power could exist. Even if a god king was here, he would probably be turned to ashes immediately. The power of the two heavenly Tao god eyes far surpassed that of a god. For this reason, the bright sun Hegemin, the celestial sword Hegemin, and Sikong Tao didn't interfere in the battle between the two heavenly Tao ancestral eyes for now. There was another point. On the surface, the god-eye deities had the upper hand. This scoundrel has been devouring our heavenly energy all this time and has been hiding it. Otherwise, we would have lost without a doubt. The divine punishment god was rather angry. Of course, this was their first time condensing the heavenly Tao God Eye, so they were unfamiliar with it and found it difficult to control its power. This allowed the Heaven Lord to use this chance to devour a portion of the heavenly Tao energy. Otherwise, if they had taken such measures from the start, the Heavenly Lord would have been finished. There are 5 of us. Why will we be afraid of him? The chief sovereign of death let out a cold snort. Of the 8 great god eyes, He hated the heaven Lord the most. Samsara and annihilation had both died to the heaven Lord. The heavenly Tao, God, I, formed by the five of them, was certain to defeat the heaven Lord. I'm afraid that it won't be that simple. The life God worriedly said. The fact that the heaven Lord was able to fight against the five of them was the best proof. The heaven Lord always had some secrets that others could not understand. At this moment, the life God suddenly realized that the heaven Lord's aura had slightly changed. I forgot to tell you that the true form of the heavenly Tao ancestral I is the ancient God-devil body, known as the ancient ancestor God. Thus, the ancient race bloodline and the heavenly Tao God, I have a certain relationship. The heaven Lord suddenly gave a strange smile. Is that so? The God-eye deities were rather surprised by this. In their minds, the owner of the heavenly Tao ancestral, I was already an invincible expert. It was normal for them to have an ancient God-devil body. However, the heaven Lord's words truly did resolve one of their doubts. The heaven Lord's ancient God-devil body truly had gotten stronger. The God-devil body alone was enough to defeat a single God-eye. But just when everyone thought that the heaven Lord was just casually showing off, the heavenly Tao God eye at the center of the heaven Lord's brow began to change. The 8 different colored eyes began to gather toward the center. The heavenly Tao God eye began to exude an even purer energy that could rule over all in the world. The God eye images behind the heaven Lord also began to change. The 8 God eye images began to fade, while the blurry eye in the center became a little clearer. This was a gray-white and turbid eye, and within it were many blurry runes that were twisting and changing according to some sort of law. If one looked at it, they would feel like they were looking up at that eye, cold and emotionless, breathtaking and insignificant. Ha! The heaven Lord heartily laughed, and an even stronger heavenly Tao will erupted from his brow. What's going on? The divine punishment God was alarmed as he focused all his energy on controlling the heavenly Tao God eye. Why did his eye suddenly get stronger? We're gradually losing ground. The other God eye deities were stunned. The heaven Lord's heavenly Tao was getting stronger and stronger, and the devouring energy was gradually turning the tide. Within the white warship, Lu Qinxin and Yu Qianwu grimaced, panic appearing on their faces. The heavenly Tao God, I formed by the 5 God-eye deities, not only strengthened the heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God-eye, but it also stimulated its refinement and fusion. Lu Qinxin's eyes widened. God eyes could help each other, and the heavenly Tao God, I was no exception. Although the heavenly Tao God eye of the 5 God eyes was stronger, the heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God, I had evolved to a deeper level and was even more complete. This kind of eye has long since surpassed the realm of God eyes. It wouldn't be wrong to call it a pseudo-ancestral eye. Yu Qianwu had a calm expression, but he was inwardly panicking. He wasn't the only one panicking. The spectators, God King Radiant Peak, God King Heaven Dragon, and God King Charflame, were all panicking. Besides that, this battle had attracted the attention of almost all the top-class experts of the ancient desolate realm of gods. This battle would decide the fate of the ancient desolate realm of gods. We can't lose. The divine punishment God roared. As a God eye, how could he lose to someone who had obtained the heavenly Tao God eye through stealing eyes? At this time, calling the heaven lords, the heavenly Tao God, I was no longer appropriate. The eye at the center of the heaven lord's forehead was far too powerful. God eyes simply cannot compare to it. Calling it a pseudo-ancestral, I was more appropriate. There are 5 of us. How could we lose? The other God eye deities furiously activated their God eyes and focused their attention. Submit. The heaven Lord found it hard to conceal his joy. The heavenly Tao God eyes evolution had once more helped him reverse the disadvantageous situation. Kaboom! A mysterious and turbid wave of light emerged from the center of the heaven Lord's forehead. Wherever it passed, any other energy would be annihilated. When it reached the eyes above the heads of the 5 gods, it had a massive impact. The 5 gods felt like their heads were ringing as if they had been struck by a hammer. But the five god deities were no pushovers. The Heaven Lord was not strong enough to directly defeat them. At this moment, Lu Qinshin's voice resounded in their minds. We are God Eyes, and we can grasp the power of the heavenly Tao God, I even faster than the Heaven Lord. Since the Heaven Lord's God, I can evolve, so can we. These words caused the five god deities to change their moods, their eyes shining with determination. At the same time, Lu Qinshin's destiny origin energy floated out of the white warship. Lu Qinshin's destiny god I had not fully awakened before, so she could not participate in the god eye fusion art. But under the stimulation of the two heavenly Tao god eyes, she could now completely use the power of the destiny god eye. BZZ. The white ball of destiny origin energy floated next to the heavenly Tao god eye above the heads of the five gods. After all, it was not a direct fusion, so Lu Qinshin did not dare to recklessly fuse her destiny origin energy into it. If she did, it might have the opposite effect. But the five gods could use the heavenly Tao god eye to devour and fuse with the destiny origin energy. The five gods understood Lu Qinshin's intentions, and they all tried to devour that destiny origin energy. Don't even think about it. The Heaven Lord's expression chilled. He did not believe that he would fail now that his enemies had six god eyes. But nothing was absolute, and he would not let go of a single factor that could lead to his failure. Luish, a gray-white beam of divine light shot out of the pseudo-ancestral eye, instantly arriving on the other side. Scram! The divine punishment god roared. Their heavenly Tao god eyes erupted with a god energy that could destroy all laws and order, and it clashed with the gray-white beam of divine light. The bright sun god, celestial sword god, and Sikong Tao also attacked, using their strongest attacks to stop the Heaven Lord. Flames, swords, and fists of energy shot forward. Broom! A muffled explosion came from the horizon. Although the pseudo-ancestral I was powerful, the heavenly Tao God I was still formed by five god deities, so it could still put up a fight. At the same time, the heavenly Tao God I focused on the destiny origin energy and absorbed it. In a flash, the massive heavenly Tao God I buzzed, the mist within it twisting and transforming, radiating divine light. It's getting stronger. The Heaven Lord's eyes dimmed. Fighting against so many god deities at the same time truly was not easy. It would be very difficult for them to defeat him, and it would also be very difficult for him to defeat them. BZZZ. The blurry eye within the mist gradually grew clearer. Countless tiny and mysterious runes appeared within the gray-white pupil, exuding a cold and emotionless aura. It was as if no power could defeat it, and one could only submit and worship it. The five god deities also sensed the difference in this power, that it had reached a whole new level. The bright sun god and the other two god deities could only retreat and watch this battle. In the distance, Zhao Feng was cultivating in his dream, but he also noticed the changes on the battlefield. Truly terrifying. I wonder if I'll be able to participate in this battle now that I'm a god. Zhao Feng was alarmed, but then his lips curled into a smile. After the dream god, I got stronger. His comprehension abilities also got stronger. Everything seemed to go smoothly, and his space law was already extremely close to perfection. Chapter 1566. What a powerful energy! The divine punishment god sensed the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye and felt like he could do anything. Fortunately, as the divine punishment god, he had an upright and plain-spoken heart, and he was also facing a powerful foe. Otherwise, his mind would have been affected by this energy. At the same time, the other five hegemons could also sense this power. I really wonder just how strong the true heavenly Tao ancestral eye is. They couldn't help but sigh. But right now, eliminating the enemy was the most important thing. The Heaven Lord was far too crafty. Even if they had the slight advantage, they could not let down their guard. Kill! The divine punishment God roared as he took control of the pseudo-ancestral eye's power. The dark and turbid eyes surged with powerful energy. The entire eye began to transform, becoming even more majestic, mysterious, and inviolable. It seemed like the god of the world, inspiring reverence. Boom! Whoosh! The eye grew stronger and stronger. Gray-white energy surged, forming a gray-white figure in the air. It was so massive that one couldn't even see its end, and it exuded a boundless pressure. The figure extended a hand, ignoring distance as it descended on the Heaven Lord's head. Kaboom! Space collapsed, and all the energy was obliterated. This hand was like the hand of the heavens. Every line on it was like a law, an order that could decide everything, making it impossible for anyone to even think of resisting. Many of the god kings watching from a distance felt their legs tremble when they saw this hand, and they wanted to kneel. I am the true successor to the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. The Heaven Lord's face was ruthless, his 3 eyes flashing with a wicked and vicious light that made others shiver in fear. Boom! Bang! The Heaven Lord's eyes also exploded with powerful heavenly Tao energy. Like an erupting volcano, this energy collided with a massive hand, the 2 powerful energies clashing. Boom! Bang! Crack! With this hand as the center, space began to crumble and shatter. Oomph! In the end, your strength is no match for the 6 of us god eyes. The divine punishment god coldly snorted, his face calm and dignified. It's still early. The Heaven Lord's face twisted into a crazed smile. His body grew larger and larger, his ancient race bloodline getting stronger and stronger. At the same time, the chaotic heavenly Tao energy unleashed from the Heaven Lord's forehead gradually condensed into a massive arm. Boom! Bang! The palms of the 2 arms collided with each other, producing a dull, loud sound. What? This fellow? The chief sovereign of Death's face turned cold. As god eyes, they were able to control this energy even faster and more easily dig out deeper levels of it. But the Heaven Lord's ability to learn was also very strong. This was probably because of his Heaven's legacy race bloodline. Moreover, his desire for victory and his resolve far surpassed everyone else's. No one can defeat me. The power of the eye on the Heaven Lord's forehead grew stronger and stronger, and his body became as imposing as a primal chaos god devil. Quick, kill him! The 6 god eyes deeply respected the Heaven Lord. The divine punishment hegemon controlled the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye, unleashing yet another powerful attack. The grayish-white giant hand gradually grew in size, and at the same time, its power increased. Boom! The heavenly Tao energy unleashed from the Heaven Lord's forehead was crushed by the massive palm. The Heaven Lord's body flashed as he retreated and punched at the god-eye deities. Defend! The heavenly punishment hegemon summoned the power of the heavenly Taos. A grayish-white wall suddenly appeared on his right side, as if it had separated this part of the world. Boom! Bang! The supreme ancient bloodline attack was like a piece of tofu crashing into a steel wall and shattering. This battle is over. The divine punishment god coldly stared at the Heaven Lord. The 5 god-eye deities slowly moved toward the Heaven Lord and unleashed powerful attacks. Although the Heaven Lord was getting stronger, he could not surpass the 6 god-eye deities in terms of strength. Boom! Bang! With a heaven-shaking boom, the Heaven Lord was thrown back tens of thousands of li. The Samsara god's power rapidly restored the Heaven Lord's shattered body. These old scoundrels. The Heaven Lord's face was somewhat ghastly pale. The 6 god-eye deities were simply too powerful. Escaping would be very difficult. At this moment, a strange ripple of energy in the distance attracted the attention of many experts. Boom! Zhao Feng's body began to exude a powerful perfected law, and his left eye began to slowly turn, radiating a dreamy light. Zhao Feng's energy began to climb, causing the hearts of the distant god kings to tremble in fear. He's become a god king? God King Radiant Peak rejoiced. Wonderful. Brother Feng has the ninth god eye. If he participates in the battle, Zhao Yufei was extremely excited. The six god eye deities and the members of the sage faction also glanced at Zhao Feng. Originally, becoming a god was a major event that would shake the entire wilderness. No one would underestimate it. However, the six god eye deities and the Heaven Lord had gotten used to the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye. To them, the energy of a god could only be described as weak, so they were not that surprised. It was only because Zhao Feng was a god eye that he managed to attract their attention. Okay, Zhao Feng suddenly stood up and scanned the six god eye deities and the Heaven Lord. At this moment, he had finally become a god king, a god eye deity. Thouish. In a flash, Zhao Feng approached the battlefield of the six god eyes. What powerful heavenly Tao energy! As he approached the six god eye deities, Zhao Feng began to feel the invisible pressure of the heavenly Tao energy. Zhao Feng sensed that his perfected space law had been greatly weakened, and even the primal chaos and tribulation lightning energies in his body found it difficult to exert much of their power. Zhao Feng, who had originally planned to participate in the battle after becoming a god, felt rather discouraged. But the closer he got to the pseudo-ancestral eye, the more excited Zhao Feng's dream god eye became. With a moment's thought, Zhao Feng released a layer of dream origin energy that wrapped around his body. Zhao Feng immediately realized that his dream origin energy could counteract the heavenly Tao energy, and the pressure on him gradually faded. The five god eye deities chilled. For some reason, their hearts inexplicably throbbed. This brat. In the distance, the Heaven Lord's expression was gloomy. In his mind, Zhao Feng was not one of the eight great god eyes. This was because the heavenly Tao ancestral eye was formed from the origin energy of the eight great god eyes. As long as he seized these eight origins, he could fuse with the heavenly Tao ancestral eye, but the ninth god eye was not one of them. Thus, after the Heaven Lord formed the heavenly Tao god eye, he shifted his focus from the ninth god eye. There's no ninth god eye. Then his eye, the Heaven Lord was certain that there were only eight great god eyes. Although there was a legend of the ninth god eye, he believed that this legend was false. Then what was Zhao Feng's eye? A fake? Zhao Feng, work with the other three gods to disturb the Heaven Lord. The divine punishment god roared. In his view, Zhao Feng's participation was dispensable. After all, they already had the upper hand. Moreover, the power of a god was rather weak in front of the pseudo-ancestral eye. Thus, he had Zhao Feng work with the other three gods. The four gods working together should be able to have some effect on the Heaven Lord. Okay, Zhao Feng joined up with the other three gods and went to the other side, where they were responsible for disrupting and restraining the Heaven Lord. It was too difficult for them to injure the Heaven Lord, but restraining and disrupting him was still possible. Boom! Bang! The moment Zhao Feng's group began to move, the six god eye deities began to attack, their terrifying energy causing Zhao Feng and the other three gods to feel their hearts tremble. Space-time barrier. Celestial moat sword. Zhao Feng's group used powerful techniques to obstruct and disrupt the Heaven Lord's movements. The Heaven Lord's face was ghastly pale as he scanned his surroundings. He was at a disadvantage at this time. In the face of the powerful pseudo-ancestral eye, even his chances of escaping were minuscule. But he did not give up. In this perilous moment, the Heaven Lord's mind was rapidly turning, thinking of all possible plans to reverse the situation. Suddenly, an idea came to the Heaven Lord's mind. He suddenly discovered a clue in his sea of memories. He had overlooked it at the time, but now that he thought about it, this piece of information was extremely important. Boom! Bang! Crash! At this moment, the heavenly Tao energy of the six god eye deities approached. The Heaven Lord found it hard to resist, and he was forced to retreat in a sorry state. Extremely far away, Zhao Feng's group attacked and interfered with the Heaven Lord. Let's gamble. The Heaven Lord's face was crazed, his eyes extremely gloomy. Let me unveil your true face. The Heaven Lord roared as he charged at Zhao Feng. Oh no! Zhao Feng grimaced. Being stared at by the Heaven Lord made him feel like he couldn't breathe. The other three gods also grimaced and began to retreat. They knew that the Heaven Lord was powerful, so they kept their distance. In their view, the Heaven Lord's target was the 8 great god eyes, so he probably wouldn't attack them. Zhao Feng, the bright sun god, and the others began to retreat. Zhao Feng possessed a perfected space law, so he was able to flee 1,000,000 li in a flash. The 6 god-eye deities also began to intercept the Heaven Lord. Boom! The illusory figure in the pseudo-ancestral eye waved its arm. An enormous and indescribable arm appeared in the Heaven Lord's path, blocking off the world. Break! The Heaven Lord roared, the eye on his forehead turning at full power, unleashing a frenzied wave of energy. Not good. He's burning his heavenly Tao origin. The 6 gods were taken aback. Although the Heaven Lord had been in desperate straits in his battle with them before, the Heaven Lord had never burned so much heavenly Tao origin at once. Boom! Bang! The ash-white arm, which was like 100,000 mountains, suddenly exploded. A silver silhouette passed through it at high speed. Moo! The Heaven Lord's left eye focused on a few specks of dust 1,000,000 li away. Suddenly, the Heavenly Lord appeared where the specks of dust had been, and the specks of dust ran to where the Heavenly Lord had been. The positions of the two had been silently switched. The Heaven Lord instantly approached Zhao Feng. Run! Zhao Feng activated his complete space law and the pseudo-ancestral artifact, transforming into a blur as he fled. Dying! The Heaven Lord punched again and again, using the heavenly Tao God to amplify the power of his ancient bloodline attacks. Ordinary gods were powerless against the Heaven Lord at this time. Thump, thump, thump. Thump, thump. The ancient race energy, the heavenly Tao energy, and unprecedented danger caused Zhao Feng's left eye to fiercely thump, and a stabbing pain almost made him faint. Kaboom! A moment later, a tsunami of dream origin energy surged out of Zhao Feng's left eye, engulfing Zhao Feng as if preparing to rescue Zhao Feng. Chapter 1567. In his weakened state, the Heaven Lord was willing to burn his heavenly Tao origin to attack Zhao Feng. The 6 god-eye deities had not expected this. In the face of the Heaven Lord's attack, the intense sense of danger and the stimulation of his ancient bloodline and heavenly Tao energy caused the dream god to unleash a tsunami of dream origin energy. In a flash, Zhao Feng was engulfed in boundless dream origin energy. At a glance, he was like a dreamy crystal ball, displaying the most beautiful colors in the world. On the other side, the Heaven Lord stared at Zhao Feng. He suddenly recalled the reports he had obtained on Zhao Feng. One of them was that Zhao Feng had once used the abilities of his eye in the Heavenly Demon Hall to undo the god eye fusion art of the 8 great god eye descendants. Although it sounded a little unbelievable, but if it was true, it could resolve his current predicament. In addition, the Heaven Lord felt that Zhao Feng's god eye contained some sort of extraordinary secret. His eye had already evolved to the pseudo-ancestral eye level and could even devour the strongest heavenly Tao energy. Perhaps it could also devour the energy of Zhao Feng's god eye, though he still didn't know what kind of energy it was. And at this moment, the dream energy erupting from Zhao Feng's left eye made the Heaven Lord feel that something was wrong. On the other side, the 6 god-eye deities were also captivated by this sight. Zhao Feng's 9th god had always been a question mark on their minds. Although they acknowledged that Zhao Feng was a god eye, they had never placed him in the circle of the 8 great god eyes. But now, as they stared at that massive ball of dreamy light, they felt extremely uneasy. Feng, Lu Qinxin revealed a trace of unbearable nervousness. Before this battle began, she had realized that the final chance of victory did not lie with the 8 great god eyes, but with Zhao Feng. But Lu Qinxin didn't know exactly what to do. Now that the Heaven Lord was attacking Zhao Feng, she couldn't help but be nervous. But there was nothing they could do. This shouldn't be a god eye. A hint of surprise appeared in the divine punishment Hegemon's eyes. The Heaven Lord's fist punched at the dreamy mist. Rumble, the dream origin, suddenly became incomparably agitated. It was as if a slow stream had turned into a raging wave. After the two forces collided, they actually canceled each other out. How is this possible? The Heaven Lord was alarmed. An attack from his ancient god-fiend body was already enough to crush an ordinary sovereign. Furthermore, he had infused his fist with the power of the heavenly Tao. But the energy released by Zhao Feng's god, I was actually able to counteract it. Of course, this energy was still too weak to completely block the Heaven Lord attack. However, it was still growing stronger and stronger at a rapid pace. Gurgle, Zhao Feng's left, I was like a source, spewing out vast amounts of dream origin energy in an endless stream. Zhao Feng, on the other hand, had almost lost consciousness from the intense pain in his left eye. Before, Zhao Feng had only used a small amount of dream essence. Furthermore, there had been a process. Now that so much dream essence was being used up, it was naturally difficult for him to bear. So much origin energy. Zhao Feng was startled. He hadn't expected his left eye to contain so much energy. But soon, the dream origin energy was about to run dry. And the Heaven Lord's attack had not completely disappeared. Am I still going to die? Zhao Feng was somewhat unwilling to accept this. But just when the dream origin energy was about to run dry, another incalculable and terrifying power suddenly rushed out from the dreamy silver ball. At this moment, the dreamy silver ball was dyed even more dazzling, and the sliver of silver completely vanished. The entire dreamy silver ball seemed to transform into a pure, dreamy crystal ball. The image of an eye on the crystal ball shone with an even more dazzling light, and it seemed to have become an actual eye. Boom! An even purer dream origin energy charged out of Zhao Feng's left eye. If Zhao Feng's origin energy was like clouds of mist before, then now, the origin energy Zhao Feng released was like viscous seawater on a completely different level. The sliver of silver in Zhao Feng's left eye completely vanished, replaced by a pure dreamy color. As this powerful dream origin energy charged out, the distant Heaven Lord grimaced, and the pseudo-ancestral eye on his forehead trembled. On the other side, the god eyes of the six god eye deities pulsed. The god eye fusion art they were using suddenly became extremely unstable. The grayish-white shadow in the endless void suddenly became blurry and gradually dissipated. Just what? The Heaven Lord was stunned. Zhao Feng hadn't died to his attack, and his eye had exploded with another powerful energy. He found it strange that he hadn't been able to kill Zhao Feng after paying such a heavy price. But just as he imagined, the god eye fusion art of the six god eye deities had become unstable. The Heaven Lord realized that his pseudo-ancestral eye was also somewhat affected, but it was very small. Divine Might's fury. The Heaven Lord didn't have much time left. No matter what was going on with Zhao Feng's eye, he couldn't let go of this chance. The Heaven Lord immediately activated his pseudo-ancestral eye and attacked the six god eye deities. Kaboom! The pseudo-ancestral eye unleashed a gray-white and turbid energy that formed a massive illusory head in the sky. The head opened its mouth and unleashed a roar suffused with boundless divine might at the six god eye deities. Originally, the six gods had been thrown into disarray by the god eye fusion art. But now, the Heaven Lord's protector suddenly attacked. Oh no, too fast. Everyone's expression changed abruptly, and they were horrified. The Heaven Lord seemed to have known all this, and the moment the god eye fusion art went wrong, he immediately attacked. In the face of this attack, the six god eye deities could only barely use the power of the pseudo-ancestral eye to resist. Bang! The pseudo-ancestral eye unleashed a gray-white wave of energy that collided with the vast divine might. The gray-white wave of energy shattered, and the powerful shock wave continued on toward the pseudo-ancestral eye. Hold! The divine punishment god clenched his teeth, the veins on his forehead bulging like little earthworms. The other god eyes also put in their all. Suddenly, boom! The massive pseudo-ancestral eye trembled and then collapsed. The god eye fusion art had been undone. At the same time, the six gods vomited blood, their bodies unsteady, their faces ghastly pale and incredulous. How did they end up like this? How did they fail? Ha! The Heaven Lord laughed heartily. Nothing was more exciting than turning the tables in desperate straits. The Heaven Lord was extremely excited at the sight of the six god eyes suffering from the backlash. Boom! Without any hesitation, Zhang Xian punched out. The pseudo-ancestral eye boosted this gold-and-silver fist to several levels of power, transforming it into an invincible power. Without the pseudo-ancestral eye, the six god eyes would find it hard to stop it. Retreat! The divine punishment god roared. In the face of the Heaven Lord's powerful attack, they could do nothing but dodge and run. Lu Qinxin's warship immediately began to retreat. Swish, swish, swish. The other five god-eye deities, the bright sun god, the celestial sword god, and Sikong Dao also began to retreat. Stay! The Heaven Lord's pseudo-ancestral eye began to turn. An invincible energy descended, one that could not be resisted. At this moment, everyone for tens of millions of li felt an impregnable pressure that caused them to freeze in the air. At this moment, the five god eyes, who should have been able to smoothly escape, were in grave danger. The life god and myriad forms god were within range of the Heaven Lord's punch and had no time to escape. Although the life god and myriad forms god were skilled in defense and possessed formidable vitality, they could not stop this attack. Seal of Life. In this crisis, the life god's eyes began to blaze with dazzling green flames. A tremendous amount of life energy erupted from her body. Boom! This supreme energy pushed the myriad forms god, who was at the edge of the attack, several li away. At the same time, the myriad forms god absorbed the life god's burning life origin, allowing him to explode with even greater power. Life! The myriad forms god turned his head and called out as he fled the attack range. But before he could even glance at the life god, boom, the terrifying fist of energy howled forward, engulfing the life god and obliterating all. The other god, deities, grimaced at this sight. Just now, the life god and myriad forms god were both doomed, but the life god used her own power to save myriad forms. Moreover, the remaining five gods sensed a mysterious and complicated mark appear on their bodies. It was shaped like a leaf and exuded vast amounts of life energy that instantly healed all their injuries. Before dying, the life god used all her life origin to use this secret art. The divine punishment god lowered his head and began to sway. This way, even if she died, the Heaven Lord would obtain very little life origin and would need some time to recover. At the very least, he would not instantly become incredibly powerful. The life god was dead, but before she died, she had done everything she could. We've already lost. The death god's body trembled. Even though the life god had done her best, they had still lost. Although they could use the god eye fusion art again, it would not be as good as before. And the Heaven Lord had devoured another god, eye origin, and was certain to become even stronger. On the other side, the Heaven Lord madly laughed as the pseudo-ancestral eye on his forehead absorbed the life god's power from the fan universe. The result was already set in stone. None of the god eyes could do anything to change it. But as he was absorbing the life god's power, the Heaven Lord's face froze as he suddenly remembered something. Within the white warship, Lu Qinxin and Yu Tianwu fervently stared at Zhao Feng. At this moment, Zhao Feng's body was engulfed in a dreamy sea, his entire body glimmering with dreamy light. The silver luster of his hair had already receded, transforming into dreamy threads that fused with the surrounding dreamy sea. Zhao Feng's left eye slowly turned, radiating dazzling light as the energy it exuded grew stronger and stronger. This energy surpassed that of a god eye. This energy was close to the pseudo-ancestral eye. Chapter 1568. The Heaven Lord had killed the Life God Eye and received the Life God energy from the fan universe, but he was not the most eye-catching target. On the other side of the gloomy world, indescribably dreamy colors and a dreadful origin energy began to spread, attracting everyone's attention. This terrifying energy instantly surpassed the God eye level and approached the pseudo-ancestral eye level. How could this be? What a powerful energy! The divine punishment god was stunned. At this moment, his divine punishment god, I felt a deep fear. The only things that could make him feel this way were the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye and the evolved pseudo-ancestral eye. But now, there was one more. How is this possible? Isn't his eye a God Eye? The death god's mind trembled. The limit of a god, I was the God Eye. Unless one used a special method, one could not increase their strength. But Zhao Feng's dream god, I had broken through the limit of a god Eye and was evolving on its own, advancing in an even stronger direction. Moreover, all the God Eye deities present felt an inexplicable fear toward Zhao Feng's left eye. Within the White Warship, Yu Qianwu and Lu Qinxin watched all the changes that had occurred to Zhao Feng, their expressions flickering. His eye isn't a God Eye, Yu Qianwu muttered in shock. At this moment, this was the only possibility. Although I don't know the specifics, there's still a chance to save him. Lu Qinxin's destiny god, I also trembled in inexplicable fear. Before the battle, she had deduced that the crux of this battle lay with Zhao Feng. Now, it all depended on Zhao Feng. Extremely far away, the top-class experts of the ancient desolate realm of gods believed that everything was over when they saw the life god killed. But Zhao Feng's strange behavior ignited hope in their hearts. In this dark, monotonous, and cold world, that gorgeous color was so warm that it made one yearn to approach it. The Heaven Lord, who was receiving the life god's energy, had his 3 eyes wide open and extremely solemn. This kid's eye. The Heaven Lord's face was dark and ruthless. He could clearly sense that Zhao Feng's eye had surpassed the God Eye level and was approaching the pseudo-ancestral eye level. This point had already surpassed common sense. In addition, for some reason, the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye had suddenly become restless, the heavenly Tao origin within becoming berserk. It seemed to view Zhao Feng's eye with extreme hatred. The Heaven Lord's emotions were also disturbed, and he hated Zhao Feng far more than before. Die! The Heavenly Lord's 3 eyes glared at Zhao Feng, brimming with killing intent. Boom! The heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye on his forehead let out a terrifying aura. A beam of gray light shot out, mercilessly punishing everything. Zhao Feng, watch out! The heavenly punishment He Gemin immediately barked. Even if they worked together, they would find it very difficult to block an attack from the pseudo-ancestral eye unless they used the God Eye fusion art. The power of the heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye was too strong, and it could suppress any power or law in the world. Apart from perfected laws, no other laws could exist before the power of the heavenly Tao. Not good. Zhao Feng sensed that something was wrong, but he found it difficult to circulate the energy in his body to dodge this attack. Retreat, retreat. This was the only thought in Zhao Feng's mind. If he couldn't dodge this attack, he would be doomed. Nothing else mattered. But because of the dream God Eye, Zhao Feng could only use a portion of his energy, and this energy was negligible under the suppression of the heavenly Tao. It was basically useless. The gray-white divine light coldly and mercilessly swept toward him. Whoosh! The gray-white divine light swept past. But strangely, it did not hit Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng softly called out in surprise. Just now, his body had inexplicably teleported several thousand li away, allowing him to avoid the Heaven Lord's attack. But he hadn't used instant movement just now. Even someone with a perfected space law would find it difficult to use instant movement in the face of the pseudo-ancestral eye's heavenly Tao energy. At this moment, Zhao Feng's left eye gradually regained its senses. Previously, he couldn't sense the existence of his left eye at all. The dream sea around him gradually returned to Zhao Feng's left eye. Could it be the dream god eye? Zhao Feng realized. Perhaps he had activated the ability to make dreams come true just now. That was the only way to explain why he had appeared in another place out of the blue without any warning. And now, Zhao Feng could clearly sense his left eye and use it. Not dead. The Heaven Lord's brow creased. Not even the combined power of the six god eyes would be able to so easily dodge the attack of the pseudo-ancestral eye. If I want you to die, you'll die. The Heaven Lord bellowed in rage. Boom! A massive wave of gray-white light shot out of his heavenly Dao pseudo-ancestral eye. This time, the Heaven Lord's attack had an even larger range, and the suppression on the other laws of the world was even stronger. Even a perfected law would find it difficult to exert much power. Go! Zhao Feng grimaced as he activated his dream god eye. Bzzz. A dreamy membrane of light appeared around his body, and then it gradually faded away. Of course, this process was actually very brief. Swish! 100,000 li away, Zhao Feng appeared out of nowhere, escaping the Heaven Lord's attack range. What kind of power is this? It's not suppressed by my heavenly Dao energy? The Heaven Lord was taken aback, and then his expression darkened. Heavenly Dao energy could suppress any energy in the world, but why couldn't it suppress Zhao Feng's? The other god-eye deities were also stunned by this sight. Before the Heaven Lord's heavenly Dao god eye evolved into the pseudo-ancestral eye, they could still fight back, but after the pseudo-ancestral eye evolved, they would have no other choice but to fuse with their god eyes. But now, Zhao Feng alone was able to contend against the Heaven Lord. Seeking death, the Heaven Lord's brow furrowed in anger. He had already absorbed all of the life god's energy. Although it wasn't much, it was rapidly recovering. Swish! The Heaven Lord's body flashed as he approached Zhao Feng. This time, the Heaven Lord was getting serious and was personally attacking Zhao Feng. Watch out, Zhao Feng! The divine punishment god called out. The god-eye deities almost charged out as well. Die! The Heaven Lord punched with his right hand, unleashing a golden-silver pillar of energy. Go! Zhao Feng activated his dream god eye and used the realization ability to lock onto a certain place. Swish! A dreamy membrane of light enveloped his body, and a moment later, he vanished and reappeared elsewhere. It's not instant movement. As he was relatively close to Zhao Feng, the Heaven Lord was sure that Zhao Feng's movement method had nothing to do with the space law. However, without using spatial laws, how could one suddenly arrive at another place from one place? Of course, heavenly Dao energy was an exception. You can't escape. The Heaven Lord's heavenly Dao pseudo-ancestral eye turned. Swish! The Heaven Lord's body suddenly dimmed, and then he vanished. A moment later, the Heaven Lord appeared next to Zhao Feng. Go! Alarmed, Zhao Feng tried to flee once more. But the Heaven Lord tightly pursued Zhao Feng, not letting up in the slightest. Swish! 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 Two figures darted back and forth through the void. This ability to go wherever he wanted without using spatial laws was truly inconceivable. Any other assassin with this ability would almost never fail an assassination mission. So strong, Zhao Feng did not dare to relax and continue to flee. At this point, he could only use this ability to preserve his life. And for some reason, the Heaven Lord's hatred for Zhao Feng was only growing, as if the two of them had countless grudges against each other. The Heaven Lord cast the five god eyes to the side. Of course, the Heaven Lord was even stronger now. Killing the five god eyes was as easy as flipping his hand. But before that, he wanted to kill Zhao Feng even more. Swish! 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 But the Heaven Lord could not stop Zhao Feng's movement, nor could he predict it. Heaven falls, earth rends. The Heavenly Lord roared to the heavens, and a power that could rule over all things in the world erupted from his forehead, shooting into the endless void. Broom! Space for millions of li began to tremble, the trembling intensifying as it rumbled. A moment later, this dimension exploded with destructive energy. Wind, lightning, fire, golden light, and shattered stone filled every inch of space. At a glance, it seemed like the entire world was about to be destroyed. Fortunately, the others were rather far away, or else they would have found it very difficult to deal with this calamity. Let's see where you can run. The Heaven Lord snorted as he pursued Zhao Feng. At this moment, Zhao Feng had nowhere to run. Everywhere was filled with energy that could easily slay a god. Yes, Zhao Feng truly did feel an intense danger. The world was filled with destructive energy, and he was being pursued by the Heaven Lord. A moment later, Zhao Feng was on the verge of death. Dream Dimension Release. Zhao Feng activated his heavenly Dao God Eye, creating a dream dimension and releasing it. BZZ. With Zhao Feng at the center, a beautiful scene overlapped with the world. Within his dream dimension, Zhao Feng's strength was boosted, and even the power of his dream god I was gradually getting stronger, reaching the pseudo-ancestral eye level. Disappear. Zhao Feng circulated his thought power and scanned through all the dangers within the dream dimension. A moment later, the boundless energy of wind, lightning, water, and fire suddenly calmed down, their power gradually weakening. What? The Heaven Lord was shocked. Someone of Zhao Feng's abilities was actually able to render his technique ineffective? Take this sword of mine. Zhao Feng's face chilled. Primal chaos tribulation lightning energy surged, forming a primal chaos tribulation lightning sword. He was not the type to passively take a beating without fighting back. Moreover, Zhao Feng was gradually regaining his senses. He could now use the Dream God Eye as he pleased, and he now had a better understanding of the Dream God Eye's true power. It turned out that his inability to fully use the Dream God Eye's power wasn't his problem, but that the Dream God Eye was far from reaching its limit. Now, Zhao Feng was confident that he could use an even deeper level of the Dream God Eye's power. Stronger. Zhao Feng activated his Dream Pseudo-Ancestral Eye and focused on the Primal Chaos Tribulation Lightning Sword. BZZZ. A layer of dreamy light appeared on it. Shortly afterwards, the size of the sword multiplied. The power of the chaotic force and the tribulation lightning multiplied by several times. It turned into a towering sword that fell down. Primal chaos and tribulation lightning energies were far inferior to heavenly Dao energy. But the power contained within Zhao Feng's primal chaos tribulation lightning sword was unimaginably vast. When one's power reached its limit, it could break through a certain shackle. Boom! Bang! The world trembled as primal chaos and tribulation lightning energies spread out. Chapter 1569. The enormous power of the chaos tribulation lightning swept out in all directions like a tsunami. In the distance, countless experts circulated their divine power to defend. Quite a few third heavens and god kings retreated even further. Retreat for now, the divine punishment god called out. Both the Heaven Lord and Zhao Feng were getting stronger and stronger, seemingly with no end in sight. Earlier, they had been thinking about working together with Zhao Feng to fight against the Heaven Lord, but now it seemed that it was better to retreat. Moreover, they were still the Heaven Lord's targets, so it was best to retreat for now. They also wouldn't leave everything to Zhao Feng. When the God Eye fusion art was canceled, they suffered a certain backlash, but with the life seal that the life god had left behind before her death, they might be able to recover a little faster. When the time came, they might even be able to use the God Eye fusion art again. Boom! At this moment, a powerful heavenly Dao energy soared into the sky from the center of the chaotic sea of primal chaos tribulation lightning. The grayish-white air currents once again formed a grayish-white silhouette in the air. It was boundless, with no end in sight. It was a daunting sight. This meant that the Heaven Lord was getting serious. Zhao Feng, no matter what kind of strange eye you have, you will submit to the heavenly Dao Pseudo-Ancestral Eye. The Heaven Lord's face was gloomy, his rage and killing intent almost tangible. Then let's try. Zhao Feng's expression was calm and solemn. In the past, he would never have clashed directly with the Heaven Lord. But as the dream god I grew stronger and stronger, he was able to dig out even more of its power, so he no longer feared the Heaven Lord. Moreover, as the dream god I awakened and transformed into a pseudo-ancestral I, certain images began to appear in Zhao Feng's mind. Although the content was unclear, Zhao Feng felt that he had to stop the Heaven Lord. This was what he should be doing. Boom! The dream pseudo-ancestral I surged out of the dream pseudo-ancestral I, creating a dream realm domain around Zhao Feng. Die! The Heaven Lord roared, his face savage. The massive gray-white figure waved a hand. Far away, above Zhao Feng's head, an immeasurably large gray hand appeared. It was cold and merciless, emitting a crushing pressure. This palm strike covered a vast area, and its might was incomparable. Cut! Cut! Zhao Feng activated his dream pseudo-ancestral I and used his realization ability. An invisible mist of dreamy light appeared on the huge, grayish-white hand. Then, the power contained in the grayish-white hand gradually weakened. The effect is actually this bad? Zhao Feng's ability to turn dreams into reality could change anything. However, it was not obvious that it was targeted at the power of the heavenly Tao. It could be said that the price was extremely high. Zhao Feng had no idea that on the other side, the Heaven Lord's mind was in turmoil. This was the power of the heavenly Taos, a power that reigned above all other powers. It could control all things and set down all laws. Yet, it was actually affected by Zhao Feng's pseudo-ancestral I. This was simply inconceivable. Is his I related to the ancestral I? The Heaven Lord said to himself. He had the same thought before, but it was instantly rejected. But now, the Heaven Lord was completely convinced by this conjecture. No matter what it was, as long as he killed Zhao Feng, everything would be resolved. He might even be able to obtain the power of Zhao Feng's I. Boom! The Heaven Lord immediately unleashed his power, and the grayish-white hand swelled in power as it smashed down. Under this absolute power of the heavenly Tao, any power would be reduced to ashes. But Zhao Feng's dream origin energy still lingered around him, resisting this immense pressure. Illusion annihilation. Zhao Feng's left, I paused for a moment before once more turning. A dreamy film of light covered the grayish-white hand. A moment later, the grayish-white hand became somewhat more transparent. It was clear that the Heaven Lord's attack was much weaker. Heaven-shrouding primal chaos hand. At this moment, Zhao Feng was using a powerful primal chaos combat skill, and within the dream dimension, its power was peerless. Strengthened, he circulated his thought power, pouring out his dream origin energy. The power of the dark lightning hand soared once more, and although it couldn't compare to the grayish-white hand, it could not be underestimated. Boom! Bang! The two hands collided, causing a destructive storm to scatter. Got I duplication. Zhao Feng grunted as his left eye began to turn. Boom! Dreamy light surged on Zhao Feng's body, forming an enormous eye. This form of existence was extremely similar to the grayish-white figure on the Heaven Lord's body. Suddenly, the eye unleashed a torrent of dreamy energy. A grayish-white hand emerged from this torrent of energy. No, it can even duplicate heavenly Tao energy? The Heaven Lord was stunned. He knew a little about Zhao Feng's duplication ability. He had never imagined that Zhao Feng could duplicate heavenly Tao energy. This was simply impossible. Boom! The grayish-white figure above the Heaven Lord's head thrust out a palm. The two identical palms clashed in the air, but a few moments later, the palm that Zhao Feng had duplicated shattered with a crack. Can't duplicate heavenly Tao energy completely? Zhao Feng muttered. In the end, heavenly Tao energy was too unique. He cannot duplicate it completely. In the distant white warship, Lu Qinxin didn't have a very high cultivation level, but her destiny god, I allowed her to see everything. Feng's dream energy can fight against heavenly Tao energy. Lu Qinxin analyzed. As the owner of the destiny god she was extremely interested in everything she did not know. Although neither Zhao Feng's dream energy nor heavenly Tao energy could completely suppress his opponent, in Lu Qinxin's view, Zhao Feng's dream energy was superior. At the very least, dream energy was a weak counter to heavenly Tao energy. For example, it could weaken heavenly Tao energy and duplicate a portion of it. But heavenly Tao energy seemed incapable of restraining dream energy. Boom! Bang! Crash! The battle between the Heaven Lord and Zhao Feng erupted once more, this time even more powerful than before. The two powerful forces fiercely clashed, creating shockwaves that swept across the entire ancient desolate realm of gods, and even further away. Everything is restricted by the heavenly Tao. The Heaven Lord was furious. He could not forgive anyone else for being able to single-handedly fight against him. Heavenly Tao pillars. The Heaven Lord roared. The massive grayish-white figure brought its hands together and began to form a spell. Boom! 8 grayish-white pillars suddenly appeared in the air, their strange and ancient runes gleaming with a merciless and cold luster as they smashed down. The endless void was completely suppressed by heavenly Tao energy. The interior of these 8 pillars was like a prison of death that one could never escape from. Furthermore, the 8 pillars were still shrinking nonstop. What a powerful restriction! Zhao Feng's eyes dimmed. Other than his dream origin energy, his primal chaos energy and tribulation lightning energy had been weakened by 70 to 80%. But this did not mean that he had no other methods. God Eye. Duplication. Zhao Feng once more activated the Dream Pseudo-Ancestral Eye. A dreamy mist emerged from the eye above his head. Dreamy light rapidly flowed through the eye as if it was brewing something. Ordinary methods were useless in this situation. Zhao Feng's dream origin energy was rapidly being consumed. At the same time, boundless energy surged out of Zhao Feng's left eye, even stronger than before. Boom! Suddenly, the massive eye above Zhao Feng's body flew into the air, a massive dreamy figure gradually taking shape. This massive dreamy figure was extremely similar to the grayish-white figure on the Heaven Lord's body, as if they were of the same species. At this moment, a dreamy vortex appeared within the dreamy figure, and 8 grayish-white hands rushed out. Boom! Bang! 8 huge grayish-white hands flew in all directions and collided with the 8 pillars that propped up the sky. This is impossible. The Heaven Lord's body trembled. The dreamy figure unleashed by Zhao Feng's eye was extremely similar to the grayish-white figure on his body. The Heaven Lord was well aware that the grayish-white figure on his body was the figure of the ancient ancestor god that possessed the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. Could his eye be an ancestral eye? The Heaven Lord's eyes went wide in disbelief. There was another ancestral eye in the world besides the heavenly Tao ancestral eye? Power. Increase. Zhao Feng continued to activate the Dream Pseudo-Ancestral Eye. A layer of dreamy light appeared on the 8 huge gray claws. Then, the entire palm was amplified by a mysterious power, becoming even more powerful. At this moment, Zhao Feng had not only blocked the Heaven Lord's attack, he even had the upper hand. Not good. His eye is getting stronger, and it's getting stronger at such a fast pace. The Heaven Lord suddenly realized something. When he first started fighting with Zhao Feng's eye had not yet reached the pseudo-ancestral eye level. Later on, the power it could display increased until it reached the level of the pseudo-ancestral eye, and now it was able to condense a dreamy figure. The speed at which it was getting stronger was simply too fast. Not good. I need to get stronger. The Heaven Lord's expression darkened as he turned his gaze to the far right. Danger! The divine punishment god and the others suddenly felt their hairs stand on end. Retreat! The death god immediately began to flee. You're all mine! The Heaven Lord angrily roared, his body blinking several million li away as he closed in on the 5 god eyes. Die! The Heaven Lord's eyes were cold and emotionless, as if killing a few god-eye deities was a trivial matter. On the other side, Zhao Feng had also noticed the Heaven Lord's goal. The Heaven Lord could kill the 8 great god eyes and obtain their origins to continue getting stronger. If the Heaven Lord was allowed to kill the remaining god eye deities, his strength would soar to an even more terrifying level. Not even the dream pseudo-ancestral eye would be a match for him. Get back here. Zhao Feng's left eye focused on the Heaven Lord. The dream pseudo-ancestral eye madly turning. The Heaven Lord's body was actually pushed back several li swish. The Heaven Lord retreated several more li, and in the blink of an eye, he was far away from the 5 gods. The Heaven Lord's rage soared to the heavens. His body was actually moving backwards for no reason at all. This made him extremely speechless. He could only watch helplessly as the dish in his hand flew away. Chapter 1570. Zhao Feng's left eye was growing far too quickly. At the start, the Heaven Lord had the absolute advantage, and Zhao Feng had to use all his strength just to survive. But now, Zhao Feng was able to fight against the Heaven Lord and even counterattack. Scram! The Heaven Lord roared as he once more used his heavenly Tao God Eyes abilities. He instantly vanished as he approached the 5 god eye deities. Don't even think about it. Zhao Feng roared as he activated his realization ability and flew toward the Heaven Lord. Intrusive dream. As the dream pseudo-ancestral eye activated, the dream dimension around him grew larger and more real. As Zhao Feng got close to the Heaven Lord, the dream dimension suddenly closed like a blooming flower, enveloping Zhao Feng and the Heaven Lord. Previously, Zhao Feng could only pull his enemies into the dream dimension by pulling on their consciousness. Now, Zhao Feng could use the dream dimension to swallow his enemies. Break for me. The Heaven Lord sensed danger, and his heavenly Tao God eye began to burn. The gray-white figure became even more corporeal, and it spread its arms apart, unleashing terrifying heavenly Tao energy that could shatter everything. BZZ. Boom! The entire dream dimension swayed, and cracks began to appear where the gray-white figure's palms had struck out. The dream dimension can't hold him. Zhao Feng's mind trembled. He had long ago guessed that this would happen, but heavenly Tao energy had always been absolute, making it very difficult for it to be trapped by another energy. Of course, Zhao Feng had only planned to trap the Heaven Lord for a while, so that the god eyes could escape. Even so, once the Heaven Lord leaves the dream dimension, it'll be even more difficult for me to stop him. Zhao Feng's expression was extremely grim as he began to think. The Heaven Lord was powerful, and Chen Changsheng could at most contend against him and counterattack. Stopping such an expert was rather difficult. For example, Zhao Feng's dream dimension was about to be destroyed by the Heaven Lord. In the shattered dream dimension, even if Zhao Feng could do whatever he wanted, he would find it difficult to kill the Heaven Lord. After all, the Heaven Lord had the ancient God-Devil body, the Samsara, immortal body, and the power of the Life God Eye. Unless he was instantly erased, he would not die. Most importantly, the power of the heavenly Tao had an extremely strong resistance against the power of dreams. In addition, Zhao Feng's dream god I did not have offensive abilities. If he wanted to stop or defeat the Heaven Lord, he needed to have an even stronger offensive ability, or perhaps his left eye would have to be far stronger than the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao God Eye. Right, the ancient God Fiend body is related to the ancestral eye. Zhao Feng suddenly recalled what the God Lord had said. In addition, the ancient race's strength had a much stronger resistance to the power of the heavenly Tao than other strengths. If he could control this power and use the dream pseudo-ancestral eye to amplify it, his offensive power would greatly increase. God Eye. Duplication. As the dream dimension was about to shatter, Zhao Feng focused his left eye on the Heaven Lord's body. Whoosh, a dreamy wave of light pierced through the Heaven Lord's body, thoroughly analyzing the structure of his ancient race bloodline. Logically speaking, Zhao Feng should not have been able to duplicate the Heaven Lord's ancient race bloodline. After all, the Heaven Lord's ancient race bloodline was of an even higher level than a single god eye. But the dream pseudo-ancestral it could not be used according to common sense. Moreover, the dream dimension had yet to shatter. In the dream dimension, Zhao Feng's dream origin energy could be used to its fullest extent. God-eye duplication, realization, and control over the dream dimension, all three were combined. Buzz! BZZ! A thread of gold and silver blood suddenly surged out of the dreamy sea around Zhao Feng, exuding a bloodline energy that struck fear into all things. More and more of this blood seeped into Zhao Feng's body. On the other side, the Heaven Lord suddenly sensed the energy of the ancient race bloodline. What does he plan on doing? The Heaven Lord gave Zhao Feng a profound glare. There was no point in Zhao Feng creating the ancient race bloodline in the dream dimension. After all, when the dream shattered, everything in the dream would vanish. He had also studied the dream Tao. In the dream dimension, he could affect and kill his enemies, but the effects of the dream dimension could not change himself. Otherwise, if he imagined himself becoming a god, wouldn't he really become a god when he woke up? Ancient race. Zhao Feng bellowed, his bloodline gradually replaced by the ancient race bloodline. Boom! An aura of the desolate antiquity bloodline that could shake the heavens burst forth and soared into the sky along with the gold and silver turbulence. Zhao Feng's body grew 100 feet taller in this gold and silver light, becoming roughly the same height as the Heaven Lord. Break for me! The Heaven Lord coldly roared as he unleashed all his power. The entire dream space was instantly shattered by the heavenly Tao phantom, turning into countless fragments that scattered in all directions. Everything in the dream dimension vanished. But Zhao Feng's god-devil body still existed. No, how could this be? The Heaven Lord was flabbergasted, his mind in utter shock. Logically speaking, everything Zhao Feng had imagined should have vanished along with the dream dimension. Good, Zhao Feng rejoiced. The ancient race bloodline greatly increased his offensive power. Boom! Bang! He punched out, and a dim gold and silver divine light burst out. Stronger, stronger. The dream pseudo-ancestral eye activated, and dreamy light twisted on the gold and silver fist. The fist suddenly grew in size, its power rising by several levels. Impossible. You have a fake ancient race bloodline. The Heaven Lord found it hard to believe, his face somewhat crazed as he also circulated his ancient race bloodline and punched. Boom! Bang! A deafening explosion shook the void. Before the huge explosion ended, there was another rumbling sound as the two of them collided. The ancient god-devil body has not only increased my offensive power, but also my defensive power. Previously, Zhao Feng had not dared to get too close to the Heaven Lord, but now that he had the ancient god-devil body and the unique power of the dream origin, what harm was there in getting close? Moreover, Zhao Feng realized that the ancient god-devil body truly did have a synergistic effect on his eye. In a few moments, both of them had become stronger. The dream pseudo-ancestral eye, which was constantly getting stronger, was transforming even faster. Boom! Bang! The world trembled as the Heaven Lord's tattered body was flung out of the chaotic storm. But a few moments later, his injuries were completely healed. Although his injuries were healed, a hint of panic appeared on the Heaven Lord's face. Heavenly Tao God's fury. A crazed expression appeared on the Heaven Lord's face, his heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye madly spinning. Heavenly Tao energy burning. The gray-white figure on his body also erupted with gray-white flames, exuding a dreadful pressure that caused the entire fan universe to tremble. Die! The Heaven Lord roared. The grayish-white shadow twisted and turned into balls of grayish-white divine light, charging forward. This was the strongest attack the Heaven Lord could unleash at the moment, and it was unleashed by burning a large amount of heavenly Tao origin. Heaven-Earth Dream. Zhao Feng calmly activated the power of the dream pseudo-ancestral eye. With him as the center, a layer of dreamy colors spread out in all directions. Everything between heaven and earth became magnificent, like an illusory object that only existed in dreams. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying balls of divine light pierced through the world, pierced through Zhao Feng's ancient god-devil body, and pierced through the dreamy figure. But Zhao Feng remained standing, completely unharmed. It was like everything in the world, except for Zhao Feng, was an illusion. Since it was an illusion, it naturally had no effect on Zhao Feng. As his eye awakened, Zhao Feng saw many scenes and understood some truths that no one else knew. This move was also recorded in his left eye, and it instantly turned everything around him into an illusion. "It's over, Heaven Lord." Zhao Feng looked at the Heaven Lord and calmly said, "No." As he watched Zhao Feng walk over, the Heaven Lord turned in fear and fled. "Stay." Zhao Feng roared, his ancient race and dream pseudo-ancestral eyes circulating their power as he unleashed a terrifying attack. The Heaven Lord had been fighting for so long that his heavenly Tao origin was almost completely exhausted. That attack from before had consumed an enormous amount of energy. In this battle, he was now on the back foot and no longer a match for Zhao Feng. "Zhao Feng, you can't kill me. Let's reconcile." The Heaven Lord roared, but he still fled as quickly as he could. "Impossible." Zhao Feng's expression was cold and indifferent. Through the memories sealed in his left eye, Zhao Feng understood many things. The power of the 8 great god eyes supported the laws and order of the fan universe, and the Heaven Lord's goal was to leave this dimension. Once he took away the power of the 8 great god eyes, the entire fan universe would truly be destroyed. Bang! Every time Zhao Feng got close to the Heaven Lord, he would launch a fierce attack to weaken the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao energy. This pursuit didn't last long, but the two of them soon covered more than half of the ancient desolate realm of gods. "It's all destroyed?" Zhao Feng glanced down. The battle between the two pseudo-ancestral eyes had caused the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to fall apart. Even the outer dimension outside the ancient desolate realm of gods seemed to be affected. Zhao Feng couldn't help but think of the continent zone and the azure flower continent. "Let's end this." The energy of Zhao Feng's left eye was getting stronger and stronger, even surpassing the Heaven Lord's pseudo-ancestral eye. With a wave of his hand, a dreamy ball floated out. "No!" The Heaven Lord's body trembled as he screamed in fear. But he was extremely weak at this moment, and Zhao Feng was even stronger, so much so that he couldn't fight back. He couldn't dodge this attack. Bzzz! The dreamy ball engulfed the Heaven Lord, and no matter how he struggled, he couldn't escape. "Zhao Feng, let me live. I'm willing to give up on the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. Moreover, your left eye is the ancestral eye. You are an invincible existence, and nothing can threaten you," the Heaven Lord implored. He was now sure that Zhao Feng's left eye was the ancestral eye. This was the only way to explain how Zhao Feng's left eye could grow stronger so rapidly. At its peak, the left eye was an ancestral eye, and now it was on the verge of fully awakening. The Heaven Lord was forced to admit that he had failed. He hadn't expected that there was another ancestral eye besides the heavenly Tao ancestral eye he had discovered. Zhao Feng's expression was calm and emotionless. Just as the Heaven Lord said, his left eye truly was the ancestral eye. At this moment, whoosh! In the distance, a dilapidated silver warship sailed over, and a tall, old man slowly walked out of it. "Tianwu." The Heaven Lord looked at Yu Tianshu with a complicated expression. "Tianshu, you failed." Yu Tianwu looked at the Heaven Lord and sighed. Chapter 1571. "That's right, we fail." The Heaven Lord had a dazed expression as he fell into deep thought. Back then, the Heaven's legacy race had mistakenly entered this world and been trapped here, unable to leave. The Heaven's legacy race's goal had always been to leave this place, but there were two ways to leave, leading to a disagreement. The Heaven-defying faction advocated finding the strongest power in this world and taking away all the resources of this world. The Sage faction's plan was to peacefully reside here and wait for an opportunity. The two factions could not be considered enemies. In fact, they could even be considered old acquaintances. It was just that they had chosen different paths and were trying to achieve their goals. The Heaven Lord had always believed that his method was correct, that he could lead the Heaven's legacy race out of this place. But in the end, he failed. Zhao Feng, give him a chance to live. Yu Tianwu suddenly said. What? The Heaven Lord was flabbergasted. He hadn't expected Yu Tianwu to plead for him at a time like this. However, the two of them had been geniuses of the Heaven's legacy race and had an extremely close relationship. However, they had different ideas, and in order to prove their ideas, they had parted ways. Zhao Feng said nothing. He could not forgive the Heaven Lord's actions. The battle between the two pseudo-ancestral eyes had caused the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to crumble, and the outer dimensions had also been affected. Other than that, the entire fan universe's space was filled with holes and was severely damaged. Because of this great battle, the number of people that died was innumerable. Zhao Feng, your eye should be another ancestral eye. If you can obtain some of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye's power, this world can still be saved. Yu Qianwu continued. The heavenly Tao ancestral eye clearly did not match Zhao Feng's eye, so Yu Qianwu was sure that they were two completely different ancestral eyes. The abilities of these two ancestral eyes were different, but they were both extremely heaven-defying. If Zhao Feng's eye could completely grow to the ancestral eye level, it might be able to repair the ancient desolate realm of gods. And the Heaven Lord's heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral eye also had the ability of the Samsara God eye. It might even be able to revive many of the people who had died in this battle. Fine, I promise you. I'll spare his life as returning the favor. After thinking for a long time, Zhao Feng agreed. Back in the Azure Flower Continent, Yu Qianwu had met Zhao Feng and helped Zhao Feng time and time again. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for Zhao Feng to reach his current level. Therefore, he agreed to Yu Tianwu's request this time. What? The Heavenly Lord was shocked once more. Zhao Feng had actually agreed? I will try to send you out of this place, Zhao Feng said again. Although he had promised not to kill Yu Tianwu, he still wanted to send this person away. Within the memories of the Dream Ancestral Eye. The Dream Ancestral Eye and the Heavenly Law Ancestral Eye were the two strongest powers of the fan universe. It was the existence of these two powers that allowed the entire fan universe to operate smoothly. When Zhao Feng's eye fully awakened to the ancestral eye level, when he obtained heavenly Tao energy, he might be able to allow the Heaven's legacy rays to leave this place. Thanks a lot. Yu Qianwu revealed a kind smile. If Zhao Feng could do this, it would prove that the Sage Faction's method was correct and that he would be able to lead the Heaven's legacy race out of the fan universe. Of course, none of that mattered. Zhao Feng, you win. Can you tell me the origins of your ancestral eye? The Heaven Lord's expression turned indifferent, and then a sharp light appeared in his eyes. In the end, the Heaven's legacy race was an intelligent race that had a powerful desire to explore the unknown. I only just learned of this. Zhao Feng took in a deep breath. The awakening of his eye was not just accompanied by a powerful increase in strength. The unknown truth gradually emerged in Zhao Feng's mind. At the birth of the fan universe, there was only one continent called the Savage Continent. There were many powerful existences on this continent, and there were even powerful races that did not exist on the 10,000 ancient races ranking. However, the strongest race was still the ancient race, the hegemon of the Savage Continent. As for why the ancient race was so powerful in the eyes of ordinary people, it was because the ancient race bloodline was so powerful that no one could compare to it. In truth, the ancient race had two ancient ancestor gods that no one knew about. These two ancestor gods were the divine transformation of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye and the Dream ancestral eye. They controlled the entire fan universe and were kings amongst gods. However, one mountain could not hold two tigers. Because of these two ancient ancestor gods, the ancient race began to splinter, resulting in a great war between gods and demons. In this war, all the races of the Savage Continent participated, and in the end, even the two ancient ancestor gods took part. The two ancient ancestor gods were so powerful that they shattered the entire Savage Continent into trillions of specks of dust, forcing the fan universe to expand. No one knew about the battle between the two ancient ancestor gods, but the memories left behind in the dream ancestral, I allowed Zhao Feng to know everything and just how terrifying that battle had been. In that battle, the entire savage continent was shattered. In comparison, the battle between Zhao Feng and the Heaven Lord was much less destructive. In that battle, the two ancient ancestor gods, who were of similar strength, both died. The heavenly Tao ancestral gods ancestral, I split into 8, becoming the 8 great god eyes. As for the dream ancestral god, he left behind a complete eye that fell on a speck of dust, the azure flower continent. So this world originally had 2 ancestral eyes. The Heaven Lord faintly smiled. The riddle that had troubled him had finally been solved. Why had the heavenly Tao ancestral eye split into 8? It could be said that it had been caused by the dream ancestral eye. Why had his plan to fuse with the heavenly Tao god been completed long before he had obtained Zhao Feng's blood? This was because Zhao Feng had the dream ancestral eye. Under the influence of the dream illusion ancestral eye, Zhao Feng still had traces of the ancestral eye's energy. Handed over heavenly Tao energy, Zhao Feng extended a hand. The Heaven Lord nodded and cooperated. His goal was to leave this world, but before he left, he wanted to obtain the strongest power of this world and take everything of value with him. But in the end, he failed. Now that the god of this world was willing to forgive him, the Heaven Lord had nothing to say and could only cooperate. Thuish, strands of gray-white light flew out of the Heaven Lord's forehead, entering Zhao Feng's palm and flowing into his body. His left eye was the dream ancestral eye. If this supreme energy existed with another energy, there was no telling what would happen. For this reason, Zhao Feng sealed the heavenly Tao energy in his right eye. Gradually, Zhao Feng's right eye began to change. It became dim, gray-white, and emotionless. Anyone who looked at it would feel dread. In comparison, Zhao Feng's left eye was dazzlingly beautiful, like the most beautiful color in the world. A few moments later, the eye on the Heaven Lord's forehead vanished. At the same time, at a certain place in the ancient desolate realm of gods, space-time, death, divine punishment, and myriad forms god eyes stood in the air. Just who won? The divine punishment god's expression turned even more solemn. As the Heaven Lord and Zhao Feng battled, the entire ancient desolate realm of gods, and even the fan universe, was trembling. The ancient desolate realm of gods was constantly shattering and spreading outwards. But suddenly, the trembling stopped, indicating that the battle was over. The other god-eye deities and the gods and god-kings of the ancient desolate realm of gods all stared at the chaotic void, wanting to know the outcome of this battle. At this moment, the destiny god, Lu Qinshin, sent a message. The 4 god-eye deities finally relaxed and breathed sighs of relief. At the same time, the news began to spread. The heaven-defying faction had lost. On the other side, the Heaven Lord had completely lost his heavenly Tao energy. Zhao Feng stood in the air, his body exuding an intimidating aura that forced others to retreat. Heavenly Tao energy and dream energy were both god energies that far surpassed any other energy in the fan universe. These two forces were also mutually reinforcing each other. The 2 eyes were getting stronger and stronger, and the energy exuded by Zhao Feng once more caused the entire ancient desolate realm of gods to tremble. Let's get away from here. This energy is too strong. Yu Qianwu and the Heaven Lord returned to the White Warship. These 2 supreme energies were too powerful. Zhao Feng would probably find it difficult to control them at the start and would probably need some time. There shouldn't be any problems, Yu Qianwu muttered. For some reason, he felt a little uneasy. The source of this unease seemed to be that legend. Once the supreme ancestral eye was opened, all things in the world would disappear. Now that he thought about it, this shouldn't be possible. After all, the fan universe already had 2 ancient ancestral gods. Feng, Lu Qinxin gave Zhao Feng a deep glance before following the warship into the distance. What power! Zhao Feng closed his eyes and sensed the boundless energy in his body. The dream ancestral I had awakened so quickly that it had reached an unimaginable level. Suddenly, Zhao Feng sensed that the growth of the dream pseudo-ancestral I had stopped. Of course, the heavenly Tao pseudo-ancestral I, stimulated by the dream ancestral I, had far surpassed the Heaven Lord's level. With this power, I can definitely help the Heaven's legacy race leave this place. Zhao Feng smiled and opened his eyes. Suddenly, broom, the world in Zhao Feng's eyes fiercely shuddered, an indescribably dangerous energy filling the air. Everything began to crumble. With a sweep of his divine sense, the situation of more than half of the ancient desolate realm of gods appeared in his mind. But the entire ancient desolate realm of gods was crumbling and disappearing. Space was being torn apart everywhere, destroying everything. The entire dimension itself seemed to be in the midst of destruction. All living beings were instantly killed, including god lords, god kings, and even gods. Qin Xin, Zhao Feng suddenly called out. The nearby white warship was also engulfed by this destructive danger. At the last moment, Lu Qinxin had taken out the Fan Luan Ancient Sound Palace, the supreme ancestral artifact of the Destiny God Eye. But even the ancestral artifact was shattered. No, what's going on? Zhao Feng's face was filled with panic, and fear gradually appeared on his face. A few moments later, the entire world was destroyed. The ancient desolate realm of gods vanished. The outer realm vanished without a trace. Everyone else had vanished, leaving only Zhao Feng. Could it be that this is my fault? Zhao Feng stood in a daze. At this moment, he thought of that legend. Could it be that the complete awakening of the dream ancestral I had caused the destruction of the entire world?